be in 5 o'clock p.m. The Lafourche Parish Council meeting of September 25th, 2018 is hereby called to order. Ms. Carleen, can you do roll?
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Bozito?
Here.
Mr. Grow?
Here.
Mr. Melvin?
Here.
Mr. Paraloo?
Here.
Mr. Oten is not with us tonight. He's out of town. Mr. Lafont?
Here.
Mr. Lorraine?
Here.
And Mr. Cantrell.
Mr. Lafont will do the invocation in Mr. Otan's absence, followed by Mr. Paraloo leading us in the pledge.
Everybody, please, when we say the prayer, please keep the people of the Carolinas that were hit by the storm in between our council meeting. We'll do the Lord's Prayer. In the name of the Father, our Father,
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A, approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes of the May 22nd, 2018 regular session deferred from 6/12/18, 6/26/18, 7/10/18, 7/24/18, 8/14/18, 8/28/18, and 9/11/18 LPC meetings? Moved by Paraloo, second by Jones. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-1 with Councilman Otan being absent.
We need to defer 2 through 8 till the October 9th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Mr. Paraloo motions to defer items 2 through 8 until the October 9th meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-1 with Otan being absent.
Madam Chairman, can we deviate from the agenda and take item number 22 for the judge?
Sure. Can I get a...
I don't really want to keep the judge here all
No, I
night,
do
you know.
not want to keep the judge waiting. I don't think I'll ever meet up with him in his chambers, though, but... So, moved by...
Ms. Lucy, we can go back. It has to be 701.
Oh, shoot.
701.
So, the minutes, the deferred minutes.
And the motion to accept the May 22nd as well. To both be 701.
Okay.
One
So,
vacancy.
I'm not used to a vacancy. All right.
7 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent, and 1 vacancy.
1-1. 7011. Okay, so item A, the accepting the minutes. That was moved by, what did you have?
Paraloo,
That was moved by
second by
Paraloo,
Mr.
second by Mr. Jones, with 7011, with Otan absent,
And 1 vacancy.
1 vacancy. Okay. And items 2 through 8, motions to defer came from
Paraloo and Lorraine.
Paraloo and Lorraine, passed 7011 with 1 vacancy and Otan being absent. Okay, sorry about that. Mr. Lorraine, you had a motion to defer to 22, and Paraloo seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with 1 vacancy and Otan being absent. Item number 22, proposed ordinance providing for a 2018 supplemental appropriation 18-022 within the 2018 operation and maintenance budget to transfer excess funds from the off-duty witness fund 115 to the criminal court fund 113 in the amount of $750,000, and to transfer funds from the off-duty witness fund 115 to the Lafourche Parish Government General Fund 001 in the amount of $48,750 for payment, reimbursement, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Lorraine, second by Jones. Judge? Jones already seconded. Yes?
I'm told it's better not to speak when I don't have to, so.
Oh, okay, so did you want to speak, though? I know, but I'm asking the judge, he's got to,
Just letting you know it's only proposed tonight, we're not actually doing it.
Yeah, it's just a proposal, Judge.
So I'll just come
We
back.
finalize it at the next meeting.
Okay, I'll come back in 2
But
weeks.
if I was
Judge, did
you,
you
I'd
want to
leave while I'm
speak
ahead.
now?
Yeah, if I don't have to talk, I don't want to.
Did you want to speak now while you were here? I saw you had a blue card
I know,
filled
but
out.
I thought I had to speak, and I don't want to cause any more confusion.
Oh, it's
If
not.
I'm told I don't have to, I'll come back in 2 weeks.
Okay. They better leave.
All right.
Thank you,
Better
sir.
leave while he's ahead.
Can I get a motion to return to regular agenda? Moved by Gross, second by Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with 010 absent and 1 vacancy. Okay. B, proclamation. 9, Parish President James B. Cantrell to present a proclamation proclaiming the month of October 2018 as Dysautonomia Month. Thought I had practiced enough. Mr. Cantrell.
State of Louisiana, Parish of Lafourche proclamation. Whereas dysautonomia is a group of medical conditions that result in a malfunction of the autonomic nervous system, which is responsible for automatic body functions such as respiration, heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, temperature control, and more. And whereas dysautonomia impacts over 70 million people around the world and includes conditions such as diabetic autonomic neuropathy, vasovagal syncope, pure autonomic failure, and postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And whereas dysautonomia impacts people of any age, gender, race, or background, including many individuals living in Lafourche Parish. And whereas dysautonomia can be very disabling, and this disability can result in social isolation, stress on the families of those impacted, and financial hardship. And whereas some forms of dysautonomia can result in death, causing tremendous pain and suffering for those impacted and their loved ones. And whereas increased awareness about dysautonomia will help patients get diagnosed and treated earlier, save lives, and foster support for individuals and families coping with dysautonomia within our community. And whereas Dysautonomia International Louisiana Support Group is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that advocates on behalf of patients living with dysautonomia, encourages communities to celebrate Dysautonomia Awareness Month each October. And whereas we seek to recognize the contributions of medical professionals, patients, and family members who are working to educate our citizens about dysautonomia in Lafourche Parish. And now, therefore, I, James B. Cantrell, Parish President of Lafourche Parish, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2018 as Dysautonomia Awareness Month. In witness thereof, I do hereunto set my signature and have cause to be affixed the official seal of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, on this 25th day of September 2018.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Carmen Gonzalez. Some of you guys may know me here as Carmen Shagnard. I used to live here in Lafourche Parish. I owned the subways down in Galliano and in La Rose. I moved away about 10 years ago, which was shortly after Katrina. Okay, so anyway, Carmen Gonzalez from Ponchatoula. I used to live here in Lafourche about 10 years ago. Right after Katrina, I moved away, and shortly after that, I became very ill. Didn't know what happened. One Sunday morning, somebody just unplugged me, passed out, knocked my teeth out my mouth, broke my jaw, injured my neck, ended up in the hospital. 28 trips later, 5 years down the road, I ended up in Nashville, Tennessee, diagnosed with something called dysautonomia. So how does somebody go from being a working class woman with 2 kids, one in high school, one in college, to can't get off the front porch by themselves? Dysautonomia is an autonomic dysfunction, And when that autonomic center that controls all the body parts that we can't think to control, when it sets in, everything goes chaos. So I could not get in the upright position without passing out. My heart rate was 230, my blood pressure was 60/30, and I was in and out of the hospital being life-flighted on a regular basis. So I get to Nashville, Tennessee, and they do this series of tests, the same test I had here in Louisiana that had been passed over for 5 years. 2 years down the road, they finally found out a treatment that would work for me. The treatment is about $11,000 a month. So I decided once I got proper treatment to make a difference in the world, because people can't go 5 to 7 years without a diagnosis and another 2 years trying to find the right treatment and then figure out how to afford that kind of care. I had a lady here named Megan Cheremy and another one named Tiffany Curl contact me that they were diagnosed here in Lafourche Parish as well. So we want to come into Lafourche Parish. We have been into 21 other parishes in the state. Between October of 2018 and October of 2019, we want to get into your hospitals, educate your doctors, create awareness in any community event. So what I'm asking from the council here is to take a few minutes, think about who you could reach out to help us get a foot in the door or some contact information so we can get our dysautonomia doctors to come in and do a continuing education class here and do some community awareness so people don't go that long. We also have means to help them with resources for funds for these sorts of treatments that are so outrageously priced and insurances don't really cover. So I'd appreciate your efforts and your thoughts. I have some little brochures and I have some business cards with my contact. You can also go to dysautonomiainternational.org, find out more about how dysautonomia affects the people. 1 in every 100 teens are now being diagnosed with the onset of what they call postural orthostatic tachycardia, which is mean when you get up, your brain forgets to tell your body that you walked away, and within 10 feet you pass out. You get that dizzy, shaking feeling. It's 80% happening to young girls. The 20% that's in boys, it ends up being from head trauma, from concussions, and things like that. So we want to catch this in the younger stages so they don't end up like me in the older ages at 40 with, the point of no return. But I'm blessed to say that I'm out now off the front porch. It's been about 2.5 years that I've been stable, and I still have a long road to go. On November the 8th, I have my 7th heart surgery. I'm completely pacemaker dependent because we've already had to disconnect all those nerves from the heart to the brain because they don't communicate well. And I just want you to know that we're here for those folks who's been diagnosed with dysautonomia because it's an extremely long path for diagnosis and treatment. So if you could just get me a foot in the door somewhere along the line, I'd appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much for your time.
Mr. Jimmy, is there something that the parish can do as far as just a blurb on our website or something? Or post on Facebook, or she has some brochures to share? Mr. Parrish. Mr. Perilou?
Yeah, I just want to know what hospital in Nashville was able to help you and diagnose you? Vanderbilt. Okay, thank you.
And like I said, the amazing part and the frustrating part was every test they did at Vanderbilt, they had already done here in Louisiana over a 5-year period and never caught it. Had they caught it 5 years earlier, I'd have had a whole lot less trips to the hospital and a lot less life flights here and there. And, we look perfectly normal most of the time, but when your brain decides to have that short, it just happens. You could be ironing clothes or washing your hair or whatever it is. It hits you like this, and then you could get unbalanced, and it sometimes takes weeks to reset all of that. It takes a team of doctors. I have an electrophysiologist, a cardiologist, a neurologist, a gastro. It affects your digestion. I have to have treatments for bone marrow production every 3 months because my body don't make bone marrow anymore. It's an ongoing try to stay healthy. Had we caught it when I was a teenager, I look back now, I've had this for years. And they just kept telling me that I was hypoglycemic, that I needed to slow down, and that I needed to be less stressed, and I needed to drink more water and eat more salt, and it was just a bunch of runaround. This many years later, the damage has been done.
Mr. Melvin?
Well, ma'am, we deal with the hospitals all the time, so we'll definitely try to reach out to them. I'm in Thibodeau. I know some councilmen here in Raceland, another one down by with 3 hospitals we deal with.
Well, I appreciate that. We have a dysautonomia Awareness Day at Oshner's Hospital on the 19th. We have one in St. Tammany Parish. We just had a continuing education course in Monroe. We brought the doctors in from the Mayo Clinic to teach a continuing education course. All we can do is create awareness, but the doctors actually teach that. So if your parish has any sort of medical continuing education courses, we'll bring our doctors in to teach that.
And I also wanted to thank you for carrying your heavy cross and turning it into something that you can share with people, because it sounds like you're a very heavy cross, so thank you.
Well, I appreciate y'all giving me the time. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for coming. Item number 10, Parish President James B. Cantrell to present a proclamation proclaiming the month of October 2018 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and October 16, 2018 as Domestic Violence Awareness Day. Did I move on too quick?
Yeah, give us 1 second.
I did just read it, Mr. Jimmy. I read the item. Are y'all ready to read the proclamation?
State of Louisiana, Parish of Lafourche, Domestic Violence Proclamation. Whereas the physical and emotional scars of domestic violence can cast a long shadow, during National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I call on all Lafourche Parish residents to help shine a light on domestic violence, an issue that so often is engulfed in the darkness. Whereas in 2017, the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office answered 1,448 domestic violence-related calls, despite domestic violence being one of the most chronically underreported crimes, a 9% increase over 2016. And whereas victims should have support to find the compassion, comfort, and healing they need, and domestic abusers should be punished to the full extent of the law. And whereas important partnerships have been formed among criminal justice agencies, allied professionals, and victim services to assist victims of domestic violence and their families, it is important to recognize and applaud the compassion and dedication of those individuals and agencies who provide services to victims of domestic violence and work to increase public awareness of domestic violence and its prevalence and to eliminate it through prevention and education. And now, therefore, that in recognition of the important work done by domestic violence programs and victims service providers, I, James B. Cantrell, Parish President of Lafourche Parish, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2018 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and call on all residents to shine a light on domestic violence by standing firm in condemning domestic violence and supporting victims in finding the safety they need, and to support, recognize, and trust in the efforts of the judicial system to hold offenders accountable, protect victims of violence in our community, and prevent future violence. I also hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 16, 2018, as Domestic Violence Awareness Day, and encourage all residents to attend the annual candlelight vigil at 6 p.m. at the Lafourche Central Market in Raceland, as we remember victims, honor and support survivors, and recognize those in Lafourche Parish who work every day to end the cycle of violence and make our community safer. In witness thereof, I do hereunto set my signature and have caused to be affixed the official seal of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, on this 25th day of September 2018.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Pam Guidry, 710 Church Street in Lockport.
Do me a favor, lift up that microphone so we can hear you. All right.
I just, on behalf of the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, the Pack Place Supervised Visitation and Exchange Center, the Lafourche Parish DA's Office, and the Haven Domestic Violence Program, we just want to thank you. This is one of the probably the 5th year that you have done the proclamation for us to bring awareness to domestic violence. As you heard, the numbers are out there. We've answered many calls through the Sheriff's Office. The Haven is actually doing several programs, not only in Terrebonne Parish where they have a shelter, but they're now located in Lafourche Parish so that they can get to victims a lot quicker. They can get to those offices when they need. We just want to say thank you, bringing awareness to domestic violence and making sure that victims out there know that our services are available to them, but also knowing that we are there to help them in every step of the way. A lot of times what I hear from victims say is that they would have left the situation a lot sooner had they known that those services were out there. So being able to bring awareness, being able to support each other in the work that we do, but then also the vigil that we do every year. This year it's October 16th. We invite people to come out, and we just want to thank you all, not only on the behalf of our programs, but on those victims who no longer can be here with us, as well as those that we support every day who live the lives of the terror that they live in. So thank you all.
Thank you all for the work that you do. You're right, it's really important for victims to know how to get help. Years ago, it wasn't available when women were stuck, and children, so thank you for all you do. And we look forward to seeing you every year because it's a reminder. So thank you.
Thank you.
C, presentations and/or updates. 11, Dr. Laura Batto, President of the Commission for Women, to present an annual report. Ms. Laura, one of my favorite people. It's always good to see you. Thank you. State your name and address for the record, please.
Dr. Laura Batto, 917 Jackson Street, Thibodaux, Louisiana. At the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy is the program of the Lafourche Commission on Women. And we celebrated our 10th year this year, and it was the biggest and best ever. We never try to take more than 50 girls because of the cost, but we couldn't help it. They were begging to come, so we did, and that's good for Lafourche Parish, whether it's a Lafourche girl or a girl from a surrounding parish. So let me tell you, if you look at your folder, the hosts are I have the host on the left side. It's the commission and the center, and then all of these people from your $15. We were $15,000. We were able to raise all this money to get these girls here and feed them and put them in dorms and teach them. Now on the program, except the agenda, we had 5 days this year. We're going to go back to 4 days, but we had 5 days, and I want to tell you that Dr. Jay Clune and the governor has come here 3 times for the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy. That is really a compliment to the Commission on Women. And Dr. Jay Clune and the governor could not say enough about us. On the first page, you'll see we start out with communications, conquering the camera. We teach the girls perception. We teach them that words don't have meaning. Meaning is in the mind. And so there are certain steps that you have to take to make certain that you understand each other. And we also filmed them we filmed them interviewing each other. All right, so that's on the first page, and then also we show them the 4 E's. In Lafourche Parish, the environment and energy are the most important things besides people. So they do a project, and we teach them about energy and the environment. And then we teach them, I'm not exactly going across so that I can go fast, because Mr. Lafourche, you know, I
I was
want
about to tell you,
I know.
take long.
I mean, you know, I know Mr. Lafourche. All right. We teach them how to run for office. We teach them how to run for office, and they run for the ambassador of the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy, and they have a leadership role the next year. We also have fun. I mean, even in communications, we bring in people from California who not only teach them communications, but give them a show, and the girls participate. We have the American Idol, Cameron Richard, who comes for free to sing for the girls. On the second, it really is the third day. On the second day, it is important on the second day. We did a project that we've never done before. The movie Holding On is not in theaters yet. It is going to all of the film festivals, and it's about suicide prevention. Well, we showed the girls that, and they were just amazed. And we had all of the leaders from Louisiana on suicide convention there to talk on that. On the third day, we went to the Capitol, and Jay Jordan was there. And then when we came back, it was the fourth day that we had the governor. We toured the Capitol, and they learned about how a bill is made, and how the Women's Caucus runs, etc. All right. Then on the fourth day, we had every woman official elected in Lafourche on a panel. And we also had the governor's dinner. And the governor could not say enough good things about us. Which day did we have the art?
Day 2, day 1.
We added some things this day. I want Brandy to show you what we did.
Brandy Tubes, 906 Laver Drive in Thibodaux. And I am the chair for the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy, and I'm here to support and tell you thank you for the funding that you provided. Laura asked me to explain a couple of things. First, I would like to see, can we cue the video? Okay, I'm going to say some things and then we'll cue the video. We have a 90-second video that was created by one of our senior counselors who happens to be with you every Tuesday for your meetings. It's Ms. Nicole Henry up there in the booth. And so she's got a little 90-second video that shows the highlights. This year was our 10th anniversary for Louisiana Girls Leadership. So if you look to the left side of your packet, they have this little art concept idea, and this was about bringing empowerment to the girls. And this is one of the girls' pictures. This is Wendy Thibodeau's daughter, Haley Thibodeau. We stole it from her temporarily to show you guys. And also, I just want to call it...
Well, wait, let me just tell you. They paint how they see themselves and in leadership, etc.
And then also on that left side of the packet, you'll find some of the sponsor letters. We ask each girl to write a letter to a sponsor, and so these are things that we mail. And as a sponsor of our program, we want to make sure that you see that they handwrite these letters and how much they appreciate it and how much it impacts their lives. You might recognize some of those names, too, that are on those. And before I go check the video, the last thing that I want to impact and say is that out of all of our registrants that we had and participants from across the state, 35% of the girls were from Lafourche Parish. So the $15,000 that you give us greatly makes a difference in those girls' lives, and thank you.
And the other girls, if you would see all of the letters thanking us, are really impressed with Lafourche Parish and Nicholls State University. So that is good for us. All right, and so on the, on the fourth day was the networking dinner with the governor. And we had so many people at the networking dinner, we could not seat them all. So, but that's good. They could stand up and eat. That was good. They enjoyed themselves. And we added a day this year. And on that last day, we had the awards program. Daniel and Jimmy were there. Were you there? You were there, right? And I was sick, y'all. I got sick during the program, and I was hospitalized, and it didn't go. Nothing went wrong. Shows I'm not needed, huh? All right. So the girls did their project, and there was a winner, and then they also announced the person who won the ambassadorship. Do y'all have any questions? You just want me to shut up?
No, ma'am.
I got a question.
Ms. Lorraine?
Yes, ma'am. I was impressed with all them girls doing them stunts. I didn't know which one won. I think they all won. They were all good. I even told that to my wife. I'm going to try and drag her next time. But what I want to talk to you about, it seems like every year, whether it's this administration or the previous administration, they never put your money in the budget. This year, I purposely put it, and I'm going to give it to you. I turned it in on July the 10th, and all I asked for was $87,500 in the budget of projects. But I got $15,000 for the Commission for Women, so don't say that it wasn't turned in. I give it to you, and you could battle that.
I would never say that you did something that wasn't.
No, what I'm saying is that every time we come to budget time, it seems like the Commission for Women are left out. So this time, it can't be left out. They have it, and you got it.
And you can see, 15,000 you gave us. Did you see how much we raised?
Mr. Daniel, it was in the budget last year, Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel, the $25,000 was in the budget last year. They just didn't pay him.
Right. We couldn't really afford $25,000 at that time, but we tried to get 20, and I ended up with 15. But I put 15 because things are not so lovely. But royalty has gone up, so that's where I'm asking to take it from. So my point is, I'm just trying to let you know that it was turned in.
And I want to ask any of you, we added things this year like Dress with Success, etc. If you think there is something, when you look at that agenda.
Ms. Laura,
Yes.
speak in the microphone so the people watching on TV can, thank you, dear.
All right. Of course, Jerry. Of course, Councilman Archie. All right. If you think there is something that is missing that the girls need, we want to hear from you. Please tell us. We want these girls to have all the resources they need to be leaders. Thank you.
Do we still have time to show the video?
Go ahead. How
Okay.
many seconds you said?
90.
Okay.
My name is Brandy Toops. I'm the Student Union Director at Nicholls, and I'm the chair of the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy.
Dr. Laura, I was the full prefect for the Petroleum Services Program. I used to create all of the business courses for the energy program. Now I direct the Louisiana Center for Women in Government and Business.
I think Girls Leadership a fun experience. They get to be around their peers. They'll connect with us from around the state.
Our purpose is to promote more women in the choice of public service somewhere in their life.
I hope that they come to our program, which we intentionally create a learning program, activities, engaging activities for them. They can find that torch within them and light it, and then go on into their schools and their communities and their churches and lead.
We introduce girls to interconnect to see that women can do it.
Because you're future, and we want to provide you with the resources for you to be the best that you can be.
That was for the center, not the commission.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Dr. Laura.
Ms. Bostill.
Mr. Cantrell?
Ms. Laura, I want to guarantee your money is in the budget. I'll put it top of the list to make sure you get it.
Trey, can I have that verbatim? Can you, when you write up the minutes, can we do that verbatim?
You can have it because it's in the top of my list.
Yeah, but will you cut the check? That's what I want to know.
No, I just removed it. Just joking, Miss Laura.
Yeah, it's really a great program, so thank you for doing that for us, and it's really great for Nichols as well.
Next week, he's gonna say he never said it.
Okay, let's move on. 12, presentation by Mr. David Stagney and Ms. Angelique Barker with Stagney and Company LLC to discuss the 2017 audit. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is David Stagney. I'm with Stagney and Company. We're at 207 Lafay Avenue in Thibodeau. And Angelique's not here. She had a hip replacement last week, and I couldn't drag her in. You should have copies of the financial statements. They were completed in June. They were sent to the Legislative Auditor's Office. They were sent to the clearinghouse in July, and all of the reporting has been done. Do y'all have copies of the report?
Yes.
You don't have copies of the report?
We do have it, we just, not all of us brought it.
Okay, some of y'all have copies of the
Yes.
report. Okay, I was going to refer to page numbers in the report so you could follow some of the comments that I have, but I will do that for the sake of the people that have a copy. Our independent audits report is on page 25, and I'm not going to read it to you because it's like 3.5 pages long, but I am going to bring to your attention certain items in it. The report on the financial statements. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of the governmental entities and business activities and the aggregate discretely presented component units for each major fund and the remaining funds for Lafourche Parish, primary government, for the year ending December 31st, 2017. Management's responsibility is, management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with accounting principles accepted in the United States. The auditor's responsibility is to express an opinion on these basic financial statements. We conducted our audit in accordance with auditing standards accepted in the United States of America and standards applicable to financial audits conducted under the governmental auditing standards. Audits include performing procedures and obtaining audit evidence supporting the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. The procedures selected depend on the auditor's judgment, including the assessment of risk of material misstatement to the financial statements, whether due by fraud or error. The opinion that is issued in the financial statements is as follows. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly, in all material respects, the respective financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities, the aggregate discretely presented component units, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the Lafourche Parish Council as of December 31st, 2017. This is historically what you call a clean opinion, which has no modifications. If you had modifications, they would have been drawn out in the report. And a modification means that the report that was issued, the financial statements that were issued, did not comply with government auditing standards. Your financial statements do comply with government auditing standards, and that's the report that has been issued. I'm going to jump to page 35, which is part of the management's discussion and analysis, just to bring to your attention breakdown of your fund balance. And in the general fund, if you're following with me, towards the bottom 3/4 of the page, the general fund experienced a surplus of revenue over expenditures before transfers of $741,000. The net change in fund balance for the year was a negative $1.7 million. The details of this are on page 100 if you have a copy of the financial statements. And it shows the deficiency, it shows the total revenues that came into the general fund, it shows the expenditures made out of the general fund, and it shows the excess or excess revenue or profit, if you would be in a business enterprise, of $741,000. It also shows transfers in, which are transfers from other funds, of $1.4 million, and transfers out of $3.9 million, resulting in a net change in your fund balance for the year of the general fund of a negative $1.7 million. I bring this to your attention because the remaining balance in your general fund balance after the end of 2017 is $1,055,000. It is being eroded every year, and the expenditures are being, the revenues being greatly offset by the expenditures, and we see an erosion of the fund balance almost every year. Excuse me. On page 240, if you're looking for our schedule of findings and question cost, when we complete the audit, we have to summarize for the General Accounting Office based on the general government auditing standards. It's a summary of what has taken place and what we're reporting on. It says the independent audit report expressed an unmodified opinion. It says no significant deficiencies in internal control were disclosed during the audit. No material weaknesses were reported. No instances of noncompliance required to be reported under governmental understandings was disclosed during the audit. No significant deficiencies in internal control over major award programs were disclosed. The audit report on compliance of major programs and award expressed an unmodified opinion, and there were no findings required to be reported based on CFR 200 in the uniform guidance for federal programs. The programs that were tested as major programs were the child care food program, the child care food program Head Start, and the community block grant. The threshold for determining major programs is $750,000. We make a distinction between the major programs and the non-major programs because much more testing is done in the major programs than in the non-major programs. Although we have no findings in the compliance or internal control report, we did issue a management letter. The management letter is part of the financial reporting package, which should be included with your information. We have a criteria that we utilize to determine whether something should go into one of the audit reports or whether it should be a management comment, and that's basically materiality. If a finding is material to the financial statements, it goes in a report. If it's not material, it goes in a management letter. We had management comments regarding budgeting. We have a variety of funds, and I can list them all for you, but that's just going to take time. You can read them. This is all on page 243. The general fund, drainage fund. Under Louisiana law, you have to budget no less than a 5% variance when you're budgeting for your expenditures for the year, which means that if you budget for a particular fund $100,000 and you incur $120,000 worth of expenditures, you have gone over budget by 20%. You have a 5% leeway under state law, and several of these budgets were out of line by more than the 5% required. So it's our comments are that this needs to be closely monitored, and budget amendments need to be made towards the end of the year to make sure that you're staying within that 5% leeway that the state has put into statute. The second finding, or the second comment we have in our management letter deals with deficit fund balances. Under Louisiana law, you're not supposed to have deficit fund balances, but we have the occasion on about 12 different funds that we ended up with deficit fund balances at the end of the year. And these go hand in hand with the prior comments, because if the budgets had been updated sufficiently, then these fund balances would have been corrected. The last comment that I have as far as the audit is concerned is to review with you last year's findings. And last year's findings on page 249, we make comment that we had an issue with internal control on compliance, material compliance with federal awards for the reimbursement of uniforms. We've determined through follow-up that that has been resolved. And we had a management letter comment last year on some of the parish's purchasing policies, and we've determined that that has also been resolved. That's the end of my comments as far as our audit is concerned, but not the end of my comments. This year is the first year that the parish and every other local government entity in Louisiana was required by the statute, by Louisiana statute, through the Legislative Auditor's Office, to conduct a agreed-upon procedures engagement. And we incorporated that along with the audit engagement because the auditor is required to do it. The agreed-upon procedures engagement is a very specific task that the legislative auditor is requiring all entities to do so that they have some comparable statistics from one entity to the other. And I'm not going to go through all of them. Again, this report is included with the financial report. I am going to discuss with you only one comment that we have, and it was a result of the requirement that the agreed-upon procedure was to obtain from management a listing of cash collection locations and management's representation that the listing is complete. There was a variety of tests that we had to apply to this information, and the result was that we tested 8 collection locations out of 26 selected for testing.
David, what page are you reading from?
This is actually page 4 of our agreed-upon procedures engagement, which
Okay.
I don't know if you have that. It was,
Yeah.
it was attached to the report, but it wasn't part of the audit report because this is not part of the audit.
Okay.
But basically, everything was fine. We had one instance of one of the 26 deposits tested totaling $1,636 for the animal shelter fees was deposited 6 days after collection. All deposit tested had the supported documentation. The reason that this is in the report is because the funds should be deposited based on your own policy within a day or 2 days of the receipt. Holding it 6 days is problematic, and this is the only exception that we have in the agreed-upon procedures part of the examination. So I wanted to make a distinction between that and the audit because we issue no opinions on that. It's strictly following a list of procedures that the Legislative Audit Office requires of us and giving them our response. Any questions?
I do.
Mr. Groh.
Okay, David, thank you. So in the report, you listed, looks like 12 conditions found in the back, where budgeted, I mean, it was, I guess a lot of it's based on factual stuff, but it is a guessing game when you're trying to figure out revenues. And some miss from 10 to 94%, which is kind of alarming. Do you list anywhere, now this is 12 funds, I mean, there's a bunch of funds in the budget.
You're right.
Do you list anywhere where we exceeded the amount budgeted, or that it's
We don't
over?
report when you do good. We only report when you do bad.
All right, okay.
I don't have a listing
Yeah.
of.
And a lot, it ain't like, it's not like we can rob a lot of these funds and move it to
Right.
one that's missed, but, hopefully the economy's rebounding with the oil field and we don't have this problem.
In the
moving forward.
finance, I do not have a set of financial statements. I just went on the program and printed out certain pages that I wanted to discuss with you. But in the financial statements, you have,
dig and see it.
you have comparative statements, fund statements, budget versus actual. In fact,
But there's no summary of it, that's all, I was just looking
No.
for the
no,
Reader's Digest, the quick version.
yeah, no,
Okay.
you're gonna have to do your
Okay,
homework
all
on
right,
that.
thank you.
Look at each fund and the balances available.
I just wanted to mention to everyone, it is online, and thank the Finance Department, Mr. Jimmy, for getting it online. Under Finance, Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, statewide agreed-upon procedures. I know I met with you all on the exit interview, and you gave me some well, were you, I don't think you were there.
I wasn't there.
They gave me
Angelique
some
was there.
information in layman's terms, and I don't know I know you weren't there, so you can't share to people that's watching that don't have these reports in front of them. In layman's terms, do you care to give any information, or?
In layman's terms, y'all are spending more money than you're taking in, and you're eroding your fund balance. That's basically, in layman's terms, you need to do something from a budgetary standpoint to either increase revenues or decrease your expenditures. You know, I know there's thousands of entries in your budgets, and every one of them is important to somebody, but you cannot continue this trend because you cannot deficit spend. You cannot spend more than your fund balance allows. And right now, you're down to $1 million.
And in 16, do you recall right off? I don't know if you had that with you. What was the situation in 16?
I don't have that with
Okay.
me.
I know there's the report here, but anyone else? Anything else?
No?
I know I'm grateful that we have the state agreed upon procedures because now Mr. Cantrell and the administration is providing us some reports on finance, which it's difficult to we have to approve projects. And if we
Right.
didn't have the financial information, it's pretty impossible to know what's available.
Well,
So-
one of in the listing that you were just referring to of the fund deficits and the budgetary issues, we have management responses in there, and one of those responses was that the administration is going to start supplying budget versus actual comparisons so that you can keep track of this on an ongoing basis instead of being surprised at the end of the year. That was management's response to our finding.
Okay, anyone else? Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much for
All right.
coming. Let the record show Councilman Lafont stepped out at 5:56 PM.
I guess I spoke too long.
No, it's probably Ms. Laura that finished him off, no doubt. D, legal advisor report. Let the record show that Councilman Lafont stepped back in when David was done. I mean, at 5:59 PM. No legal advisory report. E, public wishing to address the council, and that includes public hearings, agenda items, et cetera. Ms. Carleen?
Mr. Bob Dewey, if you'd approach the podium, sir. State your name and address for the record, Mr. Dewey.
Yeah,
Please remember, you have
I'm Bob
3 minutes.
Dewey at 798 Tranquility Lane in Cutoff, Louisiana. I'm here representing Louisiana Healthcare Consultants. I was here previously this year, and basically I want to offer active donation to the Lafourche Parish Council, the Raceland Manor Nursing Home Properties at 4302 Highway 1 in Raceland, Louisiana. We have officially vacated the facility as of August 14th. We have moved to our new renovated facility at 146 East 28th Street in Cutoff, Louisiana. And I'm inviting each and every one of you to come by and see our brand-new facility. It's very, very nice.
What again is the address there?
It's 146 East 28th Street, Cutoff.
Oh, so you won't have far to go. Okay, Mr. Jimmy, you want to say anything about that? I know we talked about it a few meetings back, about maybe a coroner's office, or what's the
Well,
situation?
first of all, I
there?
think the council and I, we have to get together and see what we want to do, if we want to accept it, or, I think we need to talk about it before we do any action. And, so as soon as we get together, since it's official that, Mr. Dewey wants to donate it.
As of November 1st, sir.
As
we
of
would be
November
willing.
1st, okay. So I think the council and we need to get together and discuss this, so that if we want it and what we're gonna do with it, okay?
All right, anyone else? Mr. Lorraine?
Is there a timeline, Bob?
No, not really, but.
But you want to get it done?
We're anxious,
One way or
yes,
the other?
yes.
Yeah, I don't want it to drag forever, because,
Well, the longer it stays vacant, the more chances you have of, some property damage.
right.
And it's a good facility now. Later on, I can't vouch for it.
And
That's true.
But we are anxious to donate it to the Lafourche Parish Council.
Okay.
the previous one that you're in now, how much money did y'all put in that, to get it where it's at today?
Quite a few dollars.
Quite a few? I knew I couldn't get a direct answer.
About 5.5 million.
It's
yes.
very nice, I can tell you that. I hope I never have to use it.
Well, if you come and visit, Dan, I promise you, you can have a key, so make sure we don't keep you.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. And please let me know.
That's going to be Mr. Cantrell?
Mr. Dwayne,
Mr. Dewey?
Mr.
Mr.
Dewey.
Cantrell had something?
can we have a key so that we can make some trips and visit? I'll bring Chris up.
Whenever you're ready to visit, let me know, and I'll make sure it's open for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank y'all.
One quick,
Mr. Lafont?
you're more than welcome to announce your candidacy also if you'd like.
Well, yes, of course. Again, I'm Bob Dewey, and I'm running for Lafourche Parish, Greater Lafourche Parish Sport Commission, CG. My number is 71. And please, if you're in my area and you care to vote for me, the election will be Tuesday, November 6, 2018, and I appreciate your vote and support. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Anyone else, Ms. Carleen?
Ms. Carol Boudreau, if you'd approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, Ms. Boudreau, and please remember you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Carol Boudreau, 106 Cantrell Drive, Apartment 4, Raceland, Louisiana, 70394. I'm here to address article number 25 on the agenda, where they're talking about taking community action and moving it to St. Mary Parish. I worked for the parish. In 2011, I ran weatherization I was a coordinator for 6 months. I was laid off 6 days before Christmas, December 19th, saying there was no more funding to pay anyone for weatherization. It was transferred to St. Mary Parish. I had 6 homes that needed to be finished. As of just this year, they finally finished those 6 homes. And you want to take this program and send it to St. Mary's, what happens to the people of Lafourche Parish? Where do they go then? If it took them 6 years to finish these homes, what you going to do now?
Well, we have someone here from St. Mary that's going to explain when we get to the item, I think, what's the discussion, but it's not moving, to my understanding, it's not moving physically the program there, nor is it taking any of the money away from the program. But I need to let her explain that.
Okay.
So
I just think before it's voted on or anything else from Lafourche goes to St. Mary's, you needed to know this part. Will
do
Serve just
understand-
finished those homes. I know because I did it. The truck was in the parish about 6 weeks ago, and I did stop, and it was the last home on my list. I've been going from the parish since December 19th, 2012, and they just finishing those 6 homes now. It does
Now,
make sense.
there's a problem with the board's not meeting, and they can't make peace with the parish president. The council can't force them to meet. So this isn't, we're trying to not lose the money, which will happen, completely lose it. But we'll discuss that later, I guess, whenever the item comes up. So, Mr. Perilou.
So you worked or you administered the weatherization program?
I was a coordinator for 6 months. Yes.
And
then I was laid off December 19th.
Where did the funds come for that program? Was that state?
LaCap, it was a state-funded program. There was $822,000. And I was laid off the day they did my last audit, and I had a perfect audit.
Okay,
But then in January of 2012, there was a newspaper article that came out, because I still have it, stating that there was misuse of funds. That's why we all had to be laid off. It wasn't on my part because my paperwork showed where our funds went to these houses and to the proper salary. Other salaries were paid, but not mine.
So you were receiving annually $822,000 from the state?
Per grant period, yes.
Per grant period, which is 1 fiscal year?
4.
4 fiscal years. So $822,000 every 4 years.
We put and we put $6,500 in each home we repaired for low income.
And that money was allocated strictly or only for Lafourche Parish homes?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Who can answer the question, is Lafourche still receiving that money for weatherization? And if so, why aren't there new projects in the works? Does anyone know?
The program went to St. Mary Parish.
Okay.
The
Well, this
program-
is separate, Jerry. This is weatherization. That's why I'm asking the lady now, because she
I think Mr. Jones has an answer.
worked in that. You do, Jerry?
Yeah. The program did not go to St. Mary. We contracted St. Mary because they had carpenters. Our program, the houses was in jeopardy, and we had to complete those houses, if you remember right, Daniel, by June 1st of that year. All the carpenters, and had some money misappropriated, sure was. But those houses was completed. We had $100,000 left, and I think St. Mary came in and did the job and completed the job for about $92,000 on the houses that was left.
Will Serve just finished the last house.
Wheel Services was
They the ones that
discontinued.
did, the
Will
Will Serve was
Services-
the one that was contracted on these homes because they gave the quotes. That was the quotes that were put into the system, and they did all the cool sealing of the homes and the insulation.
And Wheel Service was the one that shuffling the invoices. We had big problems in weatherization. Big problem.
So my question, it hasn't been answered yet. Does Lafourche still receive funding from the state on weatherization?
Yes.
And it's
But
going to?
It's not as much as we was getting in the past.
Okay. And this same agency that we're going to discuss tonight is implementing that program?
Is implementing that program. I think we eligible for 3 or 4 houses by state guidelines per year. And she can be able to
Okay.
answer that better than I can.
Outstanding, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. When we get to that item, we'll discuss it
Okay.
further.
Can I make a comment?
Corey,
Thank
did you have
you.
something else?
No.
Oh, Mr. Jimmy?
Yes. In 2018, Lafourche Parish hasn't received a nickel till today. We haven't received a nickel for weatherization programs in Lafourche Parish all this year.
How much are you expecting?
Nothing. We haven't got
So you're not
anything.
expecting anything?
No.
Mr. Jerry?
The money does not come to the Lafourche Parish for the homes. It's allocated in St. Mary to come out and do the homes.
So St. Mary's the
So
administrator of the
It's the
money.
administrator of weatherization.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't come directly to Lafourche Parish.
Right.
St. Mary's holds the money. The work is done in Lafourche Parish, but St. Mary administers the funds. So,
Ms. Lucy?
is that correct?
No, that's probably right, but the only thing is we haven't received one weatherization program all year.
Well, the lady from St. Mary's is here, so hopefully she can explain that when the item comes up. Okay? Thank you.
Reverend Boyd, I didn't get to ask you, when you put your blue sheet on the top of the desk, you want to speak on item 25 or right now? Item 25. All right, thank you. That's all I have, Ms.
Okay. F, engineers, architect reports. Anyone? Jack? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Jack Plazos, 115 Peaceola Parkway, Cutoff. I'm going to report on 3 of our projects and briefly discuss the CDBG projects. So to start off on road sales tax 24L, roadway and drainage improvements, Barrier Construction Company received the notice to proceed on August the 28th. So far, they're about 50% complete on the asphalt patching and about 10% complete on excavation work. This is about a $2.1 million construction project, contracted, and will be finished by the completion date of February 23rd. Oh, passed it up. Second project, I'm going to back up. EDA grant program, LA 308 turning lane, airport access road. So the parish did receive 6 bids on September 12th, and we recommended award to Beverly Construction, LLC. That low bid was in the amount of $920,014. And the contract award is pending parish council approval. I would expect that would be on the October 9th agenda to award the contract to Beverly Construction. And the Choctaw Levee rehab permitting. I've said this before several times. We submitted our joint permit application back in May. We've met with DNR several times and submitted clarifications per their request, additional information as it was requested. So we're still in the permitting process. No slides on these, but I'll talk briefly about the CDBG projects that are still underway. Dugas Canal drainage improvements. Byron E. Talbot has the contract. It's completely processed. The work commenced this week, September 24th was the notice to proceed date. This is about a $3.3 million construction project. And I wanted to mention that item 33 on the agenda tonight is change order number 1. This change order was approved by OCD. It's an increase of $14,724, and it was required to adjust quantities of drainage pipe required for the project. So we're still under our budget, but we do have a change order on the agenda later.
When you say quantities of drainage pipe, it was measured incorrectly, or, because I heard something about it being something measured incorrectly, or?
Mr. Waits is here actually tonight, the engineer. I'm going to ask him to get in, to respond to that question. Do you want to do that now or continue?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, David, state your name and address for the record, please.
David Waits, 1107 Canal Boulevard, Thibodeau. Yes, when we prepared the contract for this project, we had several items of 30-inch pipe, and apparently somebody put a wrong number in the wrong location, and it it didn't add any more length of pipe, but one item cost more than the other, so we had to switch them into the correct columns, and it's just an error on the contract amount.
Okay.
It didn't change anything on the plans or anything like that. All the items were all.
Oh, it doesn't change anything on the plans? Okay. Oh, wait a second.
I just had a quick question for Jack or Mr. Waits. So we're looking at maybe having a meeting. I'm going to get with Mr. Morris next Thursday evening, town hall of sorts, just to answer a few questions, because I'd asked a little over a month ago about having a meeting, and just to anticipate questions that would be coming our way from constituents. Just say, what's happening, this, that, and the other. Sure. Well, yesterday, I tried to get a meeting through the parish, and still haven't had an official meeting or a date, but until yesterday. But again, the pipe was all delivered, and it's not y'all. It's just the pipe was delivered, large quantities, and of course my phone started blowing up. So again, I'm hoping, looking forward to a meeting hopefully next Thursday. And
Whenever
I appreciate
we'll be there.
Yes, sir. Okay. Appreciate y'all.
Okay.
So 2 more CDBG projects to report on briefly. The Parlor Rose Pump Station, all the contracted work is complete. Substantial completion was issued. There is one punch list item remaining unresolved that's in process. Also, item number 32 on tonight's agenda is change order number 3. This is also an increasing change order of $848. This is additional work that was requested by Department of Public Works to add gutters and downspouts to the canopy over the pump station. This work has already been approved by the state for grant funding, 100%, and that's also coming up later on the agenda. So it's something that was requested by Public Works. We submitted the item to the state and it was approved. So it's up for your ratification tonight later. Finally, Lafourche Community and Recreation Center, on September 6th, the parish did receive 6 bids. Onshore Construction LLC submitted the lowest bid. The entire bid was not within the project budget, but the recommendation of the architect and us as well was to award the base bid to the project. This isn't on the agenda tonight, but I think it's going to be on the next agenda to award the base bid, as I said, to Onshore Construction LLC. That's about a $3.7 million contract award. So that would conclude my report. If there's any questions.
Light. Mr. LaFont.
Jack, you said that's just to do the base. What was the initial, what did it come back, the bid on the whole project?
We had an alternate item for a generator to run the facility. The bids averaged about $250,000 each. I think Onshore's, I know it was the lowest of those. It was probably about $250,000 roughly. I can tell you that the total amount of all of the other alternate, let me say, was additional basketball goals inside the gym. I think that ad was about $30,000. Nonetheless, I can tell you the total amount was $4,074,800. That was the total of the low bid, and it exceeded the budget.
$4,748,000, you said?
$4,074,800. That was the total low bid, but as I said, Duplantis has recommended awarding the base bid only, which is $3,794,500, which was just under the construction budget. Or no, I should say it was within the construction budget.
Mr. Lorraine?
How long y'all been playing with the Parlor Rose pump station?
I can tell you that the grant application was approved by OCD back around 2011. So that would be about 7 years.
And we still don't have those 2 pumps pumping like they should be pumping?
Those pumps have been pumping as they should be for maybe 6 weeks now.
Isn't there still some problems with one of them?
I know that there's an issue with one of the control panels. I'm being told that the pump station functions normally, but there's an error code on one of the control panels.
Because it seems like for a new pump station, there was so many things wrong. I mean, the pumps disappeared for a long time. They didn't even go back to the people that they were purchased with. They went somewhere else. That's going to be for a brand new station, that's going to be a problem. And weren't they supposed to have 3 engines in that pump station?
No, sir.
Why they got a third? They put 2 engines, 2 pumps, and they put a station for another pump. Wasn't some money transferred from there to that recreation center?
I would have to look back to see about the transfers, but I can tell you this, backing up to your first comment, the original grant application, the current grant application is for 2 pumps. The parish wanted us to look into, and we were able to approve or have approved a location for a 3rd pump in the future that wasn't ever part of the grant program.
Allegedly, I was told that there was close to $700,000 that was pulled out of there and transferred to that recreation center. And we sit up here and we talk about drainage, drainage, drainage. And you're going to take, if it's true, you're going to take $700,000 and transfer it to a recreation center over drainage? I think the people that live there ought to be on fire, if it's true.
Well,
and you're smiling, so I have a feeling it's true.
What I can tell you is that the intent of the Parlor Rose pump station was completed very close to the original budget. Now, you are correct that at one point there was discussion, and DPW asked us to look into a third pump. And we went so far as to get quotations for the third pump. But that decision to add the third pump in was never materialized.
But did the money go somewhere else?
Money was transferred out of that station, but it was long before the third pump request and discussion ever came up.
So it looks real good when we have two pumps and a platform to put a pump, and we can't get the other two pumps to run.
The other two pumps are running. The third bay is for future development when funds are available. It was never part of the program.
I'm going to look into it a little further.
I'd be
But
glad
thank
to
you, man.
discuss. Sure.
You had anything else, Mr. Lorraine?
No, I'm done.
Okay, your light was still on. Mr. Melvin?
Yeah, real quick, I appreciate Mr. Daniel for reminding me. You got your pump, so that's good, because I know Dugas, you didn't get that, but that's beside the point. Here's the thing. I was called by a cattleman in Raceland and told me there's two pumps sitting on the levee. It's for Cyprian. Are you familiar with that?
Not at all. I'm not involved with that project.
Okay, because I know that,
Is
I know
Mr.
that's,
Jimmy familiar with it?
I know that that's,
Somebody else.
I know
Maybe
y'all
be
involved in a
available.
lot of things, and I understand it's T. Baker Smith. Nobody from T. Baker Smith here tonight? Mr. Jimmy, are y'all aware? I was told by a cattleman that there's two pumps sitting on the levee by Cyprian.
Mr. Jimmy?
Yes, there's three.
Okay,
We purchased the pumps. We put out the advertisement through a public bid law, and we have the three pumps. T. Baker Smith has the engineer on constructing the station.
okay. Any time when those pumps will be in line and pumping?
I think, yeah, the bid has already been awarded, and the notice to proceed will be coming pretty soon.
So best timeline, when will they be in line, you think? Just best guesstimate.
It's about 300 day, it's about a 300-day contract,
300 days?
yes,
That's building a new pump station, installing the pumps, 300 days?
300 days.
Mr. Jones?
Jack, I'd just like to let you know my water is running, draining.
It's running.
So it's good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Anything? It's a happy day to have that done, I'm here to tell you. Anyone else?
Miss Lucy?
Mr. Cantrell?
Yes, to make the statement, we're waiting for the hurricane season. Everything's ready to go, but we want to make sure the hurricane season's at a close before we remove those pumps to start the new one. So that's going to be about another maybe 30 days at the most.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jimmy. I just know, like, when we all took office, there was $3.4 million for that project, and it'd been through a roller coaster and back twice, so that's why I was curious to get it done. Thanks.
Okay. Jack, thank you.
Thank you.
G, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. Can I get a motion to open public hearings? Moved by Paraloo, second by Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Number 13, ordinance amending and reenacting ordinance number 4887 and amending and reenacting Chapter 30, Public Welfare, Article 2, Parish Head Start Program, Section 30-35- Adoption of Personnel Policies of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances as it pertains to amending the current Personnel Manual for the Lafourche Parish Government Head Start Program Policies and Procedures and Rules, and amending and reenacting Article 2, Section 30-35, thus reflecting the new Code of Ordinances and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. That was moved by Melvin. It's deferred from 8/14/18, 8/28/18, and 9/11/18. So it's moved by Melvin, second by LaFawn. Any discussion? Anything from the public? One time, two times, three times, anything from the council? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-1-1 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. 14, ordinance amending ordinance 5529 and amending and reenacting Chapter 4, Alcoholic Beverages, Article 2. License and permit requirements, Division 2, Dealers and Beverages of High Alcoholic Content, Section 4-45, location of retail liquor businesses near churches and school limited of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinance to extend the distance from And the change will be from 300 feet to 500 feet as it pertains to alcohol permits granted. That's moved by Councilman Melvin. There's going to be a amendment on it. Ms. Colleen, do you want to?
Yes, in section D, Councilman Melvin has taken out the word may, replacing it with the word shall, and taking out the written words 500, replacing it with the numeric value 500.
Okay, can I get a vote on the amendment? That's moved by Melvin. Can we get a second? Second by Lafont. Okay, so the item as amended, moved by Melvin, second by? Item as a Melvin? Oh. I didn't vote on it? Oh, vote, okay. So the amendment, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 6. Yes, 6-1-1-1, with Lorraine being a nay, a vacancy, and Ote absent, right? Okay. Item as amended. That's moved by Melvin, second by? Second by Lafont. Okay, so we had Lafont. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine?
Yes. I could recall the state statute at one time was 500 feet. You had to put a bar 500 feet from a school, library, or whatever. State changed it to 300 feet. Now, this council wants to come back and put it to 500 feet, which they can. But what concerns me is I think Mr. Bull is after this dollar store in the St. Charles community. So if he's after that dollar store in the community, don't penalize everybody else in this parish. 500 feet is a big distance. You are going to hamper places, maybe a supermarket that might want to build by a school or a library, and he won't be able to sell beer. You can't go any less than the 300 feet, but you can go more. So that's where we're going, from 300 to 500. But if you got a problem in that community, don't penalize everybody else in the parish. And how do you expect to generate revenue when you're going to pull a stunt like this and go 500 feet and affect quite a few new businesses? Because you ain't going to stop this one. This one's done. You can do whatever you want up here. You're not going to stop it. It's done. They've been issued it, whether it was right or wrong, it was done. But yet you want to come and put 500 feet for the rest of the parish? Gentlemen, without business places, you don't get revenue. I could remember just a couple of years ago, you got a Walmart right here in Thibodaux. They fought it. They didn't want it by Percy Brown. They didn't want it. A box store. You know where it went? It went to Terrebonne Parish in the corner of Lafourche, and we give Terrebonne $3 million of sales tax a year. Think that makes sense? There's the people from that area that's shopping there. And we give them $3 million of sales tax because a handful of people didn't want it. You can't make everybody happy. And I can't be right all the time, but I think I'm right on this one. We need businesses. What is a six-pack of beer or a bottle of whiskey? If they would be tearing up everything in the parking lot, yes. But don't crucify everybody else. That's just my opinion. And I hope before y'all vote on this, y'all really think about it. It's for one area. But yet we're going to punish the whole parish.
Mr. Melvin.
Mr. Lorraine, thank you. I appreciate that, and I do value your opinion in this. I know I was elected to serve the people in District 4, and I've had quite a roller coaster ride with certain things in this district, not just this, with drainage, among other things. And when people come to me with issues they're having, it comes before council. Council has every right to vote the way they want to vote. I know that this will definitely not be retroactive because it says the provision shall not apply to premises maintained as a bona fide hotel, motel, fraternal organizations, premises already holding a permit, et cetera, et cetera. So, again, they came to me, they have some issues, and of course, the way the permit was issued originally, there were some issues, and I'm not saying there was any malintent by anything, by anybody in the parish, by any means, or the state. And, again, vote your conscience. I'm just trying to, help my constituents as to why I'm in the chair and, honor my office and their requests. And I know sometimes we can't do everything for people, but again, I'm just carrying this because, they had an interest. This particular one, since you brought it up, is within that distance, and they were understood from us that it was, 300 to 500 feet outside of a municipality. Well, it can be extended, so it looked as if it was. So that's why I have this on here tonight. Again, vote your conscience.
Ms. Lafont?
Yeah, one concern I have is, if I own a bar room and I'm 400 feet now and I got my liquor license and I'm good to go, you saying it won't affect me. And I agree with that, but it does affect me. Let's say in 5 years from now, I want to sell it to one of my kids, or I want to sell it to Mr. Lorraine. I can't sell it for what it's valued at because guess what? He can't get a liquor license. So it will affect those businesses. It will affect them. Another challenge I have with it is, and it's not so much and it might be here, but I know in my district, 500 feet, the bayou is about 150, 200 feet wide in some spots. And so with the 300 foot, if there's a bar room on one side and a church on the other side, that 500 foot could affect them. Even though I got to drive 10 miles around 2 bridges to get there, it's still within 500 feet. So that's another concern I have. And so I just wish you would have looked at that before you would have came up with it and before that, because those are 2 concerns I had.
Mr. Melvin?
Actually, it's a good point. I don't not know if liquor license is transferable like any other license when people have it, if they have to totally reapply. So I can defer this to the next meeting, but I'd like to look into that simply because it is valid. And I'm not looking to kick an ant pile or start any issues. It's just my constituents came to me with this issue, and I'm just trying to help them where I can and how I can, but I'll defer it. Yeah.
And Mr. Melvin, the only thing I'd add is every year, annually, liquor license have to be renewed. So I think you'd have to add some language in there. Do you have language in the
Well, I mean, it
resolution?
says premises already holding a permit prior, and this is already this is not changed. Premises already holding a permit, the provision shall not apply. Premises already holding a permit prior to the purchase or acquisition of property or facilities designated for construction, erection, development, or use as a public playground, library, school, church. So anybody that already has a permit is exempt from this.
So even at renewal, okay.
But I'll defer
So
it to the next meeting.
I was just
Mr.
going to
Grove.
ask for you to defer as well. I just approved, and I did get a call from administration, I guess a little bit over a month ago, with Rite Aid in Thibodeau, in the northern part of the parish, in the Rouse's Shopping Center over there, used to be Kmart, that became a Walgreens now, and there is a daycare on that little street that leads to that neighborhood, and if I had to bet, it's probably within 500 feet of that back corner of that building. So that one would have been one that could be a deal breaker and would be a big eyesore trying to fill that space of a Rite Aid. I don't think Walgreens would have bought it if they couldn't sold liquor with the medicine, So.
Mr. Jimmy, did you want to weigh in any way on that before he goes back to the drawing board with this?
Well, I guess that's a good argument on both sides, but when you restrict businesses because you want to add more than the state adds, I think you need to consider this very long and hard, because sometimes you really want to do something good. I know Bo wants to do something good, but you end up may hurt other people down the road somewhere, So it's, I guess he's damned if you do and damned if you don't. That's all I can say.
Mr. Melvin?
I'll defer it.
Okay, so we got a motion to defer, second? Let me get it.
You have a motion on the floor right now.
Oh, wait a second.
For a vote
gonna
on the
defer it.
amendment, so.
Oh,
you need
all
to
right.
pull the as
All right, so we
amended.
need
Y'all
to
did not
pull-
vote on that.
I'll pull my second on the amendment.
Gotta pull, yeah. Gotta vote to defer.
All right, so you pulled your second?
On the amendment.
Carolou pulled a second on the
Let's
amendment?
vote on it.
No. Yeah, he wants to defer it.
And, Mr. Melvin and Mr. LaFont
Okay, y'all want to pull your first and your second?
on the ordinance as amended.
LaFont, will you pull your second on ordinance as it's amended? The councilman wants to, whose item it is, wants to defer it. Will you please play nice? Thank you. Okay, pull the second. Mr. Melvin, you're pulling your, all right.
Now we need the motion to defer.
Now, motion to defer. He's deferring it
To what meeting?
to Mr. October 9th, is that?
Okay, that's the next one.
That discussion was longer than I expected. Okay, so motion to defer to October 9th. Can I get a second?
Moved by
Parallel-
Mr. Melvin.
Moved by Melvin, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? More, being none, all in favor? Well, public one time, 2 times, 3 times. So we're voting to defer. We're voting to defer. Something happened earlier. We're voting on deferment. All right, so we said all in favor? Any opposed? Item is deferred until October 9th. It's 7011 with OTAN absent and 1 vacancy. Jeez. Okay. Item 15, ordinance approving the holding of an election in Fire Protection District Number 9 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, on Saturday, December 8th, 2018, to authorize the levy of a special tax therein. Moved by Councilman Paraloo, second by Lorraine. Any discussion?
What
Mr.
district,
LaFont.
where's that district at, District 9?
It's in Mr. Paraloo's district.
It's Paraloo's district. Anything from the public? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times? Being none? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTAN being absent and a vacancy. Motion to close public hearing by Paraloo, second by LaFont. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Y'all gotta wake up. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. Proposed ordinance, Mr. Jones already reluctantly agreed to read them. Thank you, Jerry.
Proposed order, item 16. Proposed order designating a yield sign to be placed on West 151st Street, coming from 3235 going to LA1, where the street narrows and makes a snake curve, placing the yield sign on the right side of where the snake begins. Galliano, Louisiana, Ward 10, District 9, Parish, Lafourche, State of Louisiana, require for placement of the yield signs and providing for penalties in violation thereof. Moved by Mr. Lorraine. I figured it was you, Daniel. The snake. Item 17, proposed order provided for a variance from the Lafourche Parish from the Lafourche Parish subdivision regulation, Chapter 22, Article 6, Division 3, Roads, Section 22-408F, to not connect East Wander Road to subdivision due to stormwater detention need for the Old Town subdivision. Phase 2, as recommended by the Lafourche Parish Planning Commission at their August 30th, 2018 meeting. Can someone move that for me? Moved by Mr. Lorraine. Item 18. Proposed order approving the lease agreement between Fletcher Technical College, Community College owner, leaser, and the Parish of Lafourche Parish for the leasing the premises located 1425 Tiger Drive, Thibodaux, Louisiana, 70301, for use as a polling place for Ward 1, Precinct 2, 3A, and 3B, and Ward 2, Precinct 9 of Lafourche Parish, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all documents. Someone move it for me. Moved by Mr. Grow. Item 19, proposed ordinance amending Chapter 22, Article 2, Section 2-36 of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinance to change the polling location name for Ward 1, Precinct 2, 3A and 3B, and Ward 2, Precinct 9 from Louisiana Technical College campus to Fletcher Technical Community College. To future establish the effective date of same and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant document. Moved by Mr. Perilou. Item 20, proposed ordinance amending ordinance number 6082 that approve a lease agreement between Lafourche Parish School Board, owner, leaser, and the Lafourche Parish of Lafourche Parish for leasing the premises located at 101 School Land, Thibodaux, Louisiana, 70301, for the use as a polling place for Ward 6, Precinct 1A and 1B of Lafourche Parish, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Posito. Item 21, proposed ordinance amending ordinance number 6110 that amend ordinance number 5991 and ordinance number 6019, which adopt the 2018 operation and capital budget for the Lafourche Parish Council, as well as setting salaries of unclassified employees as provided for by Article 5 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. LaFont. Item 22 has been taken care of. Item 23, proposed order provided for a 2018 supplemental appropriation 18-023 within the 2018 operating maintenance budget for funding received for a prop washer permit, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Mr. Lorraine. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I'd like to get a motion to take a little 10-minute break. I got a feeling we have a couple items that's going to require a lot of discussion. So can I get a motion to take a break? Moved by Perilou, second by Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes. The agenda. Moved by Perilou, second by Bo Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes. Okay, so we have everyone here? Passes 7. No, there's another one missing.
Y'all right, 2, 4, 6. Someone's missing.
Who's that right there?
5, 6, 7. Y'all good.
Oh,
Y'all good.
all right.
7011.
7011. Is that thunder?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It's storming.
With OTA absent and 1 vacancy. Number 24, resolution to fill the vacancy for Council District 5 as required by the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, Article 3, Section 11C. I need to defer that, Ms. Carleen, till October 9th meeting. Can I get a second? Second by Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Look,
Mr.
we have
Lorraine.
30 days from the time
Ms.
that
Carleen, can you
the
tell them the dates we're
ex-councilman's
dealing
gone.
with?
That's going to fall within the guidelines?
Yeah.
Yes. We have from September 12th. So we have till October 12th to,
October 12th.
to fill the vacancy.
Because if we don't, doesn't the governor?
The
does?
governor does.
Okay.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTA absent and 1 vacancy. Number 25, resolution informing the Louisiana Workforce Commission. Do we have a resolution?
We have an amendment to that.
Okay, I'll read this before I read the amendment. Number 25, resolution informing the Louisiana Workforce Commission that the Lafourche Parish Council Governing Board has merged with St. Mary Parish Community Action Agency, in which they shall manage, direct, and oversee all aspects of the Community Service Block Grant, CSBG, Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LAHEAP, and any other grant funding programs for Lafourche Parish Office of Community Action, and also provide the Lafourche Parish Governing Board with recommendations mandating the program guidelines as recommended by the Louisiana Workforce Commission. Moved by Jones. So we have an amendment from the floor. Ms. Carleen.
A resolution, we're going to take out the word informing, requesting guidance from the Louisiana Workforce Commission on steps necessary to effectuate an intent to merger with St. Mary Community Action Agency, and the Lafourche Parish Council's, which is the governing board's, intent. We're going to add that, to partner, going to take out the past tense, merge, take out the past tense, with St. Mary Parish Community Action Agency, in which they shall manage, direct, and oversee all aspects of community service block grant, CSBG, low-income home energy assistance program, LAHEAP, and any other grant funding program for Lafourche Parish Office of Community Action, and also to provide the Lafourche Parish Governing Board with recommendations mandating the program guidelines as recommended by the Louisiana Workforce Commission. We've also added that as a second whereas within the body of the new resolution.
Okay, so motion on the amendment by Jones, second by Paraloo. Ms. Carleen, item is amended, right? Okay, on the amended item. On the amendment, did you say amendment? Okay. Item as amended. All in favor?
I want
Oh,
to
wait.
speak on it first,
Okay.
please.
You want to speak on it before
the
we get it
amendment.
all amended?
No, I want to speak on the amendment.
Okay, go ahead.
So, what I'm reading, I'm understanding is, this is just requesting guidance. We're not voting to go ahead and give it to St. Mary's tonight. We're voting just to get guidance from the state if we can, and what can we do, right? Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The state would have to put together the package and meet with the different bodies. This is not turning it over to them. This is requesting the guidance on what need to be did to have it, St. Mary come in and supervise this program.
I'm
Ms.
fine,
LaFawn?
thank you.
Okay.
We,
All right, Mr. Lorraine?
yeah, also, I think, Jerry, that there's a board for St. Mary. There's more than one parish involved, and that board also has to approve the recommendation. And they so said they would give us 2 members on that board, and they meet 5 times a year.
I think she's here to explain that. Yeah, when we have 4 people wishing to address the council, Ms. Carleen?
Mr. Sylvester Spears, if you come to the podium, sir, state your name and address for the record. Please remember you have 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Sylvester Spears, 428 Dante, Racine, Louisiana. Before I begin, I just want to say that I truly respect everything that you guys are doing for the parish. I know quite a few of you all. I used to work for Lafourche Parish a few years ago. I was coordinator for the weatherization program. And I went on to work for the state, and I came back and do the auditing for the whole parish and the state. First of all, I'm not here to judge about community actions at all. Only thing I'm thinking about is that we don't need a babysitter for community action. It was founded in 1970 by Lloyd Jones, and it worked quite well considering. We did some changes. We had some different people who were directors. They did some good things. They did some bad things. The council was with them on certain things. The council wasn't with them on certain other things. Miss Elmitra is a good friend of mine. She's a shark. She's a go-getter. Her staff is very, very sharp. Mr. Jones, I know him quite well. I ordered them too as well. She has 8 parishes that she's doing right now. Why should we give community action to Miss Elmitra? Now, maybe we do need some good directory, but I'm telling you right now, we don't need that babysitter. We have Miss Stacy Savoy, who's an ample person who could do it. She has a good staff, but we have to get behind her. What happened? I don't know what happened. I went to the state, and then I work for the school board now. What happened to the volunteers that helped them out? I don't know what it is about the advisory board. I don't know what it consists of. I do know, and I read a lot, about bylaws that have been changed. Why changed? I don't know. You all are the council. We don't need to give St. Mary community action. It took away jobs from weatherization. Some people's houses still haven't been done yet. Older people, I go up and down the bayou, and you can't believe the people that need assistance. Light bills, medicine, transportation, that's something we forgot about. But we can build it back up if we work together. I'm a firm believer in working together now. We don't need St. Mary to come in and do our job. We can do it ourselves. But we got to work together, you all. If we don't work together, it's going to fail. Mr. Jerry, he's a friend of mine. I know him and his wife well. I know this young man here, Mr. Boyd.
Someone relinquish.
I know Mr. Boyd as well, advisory board president. I haven't been to a meeting because I'm swamped right now, but I will make my way. I have some good friends who said if they stay here, they're going to help us. People who don't live in the parish, but will come back and volunteer time if we have community action stay. That's all I'm asking. Give them a chance, though. Don't just turn away from them. Let's help them. We can build it back up. You all know me. I'm a person that loves to help. That's my motto. Jesus helped me, so I got to help someone else. But let's just not give it to Miss Almitra. And she's a good friend of mine. We can do it ourselves. That's all I have to say.
Reverend Richmond Boyd, if you'd approach the podium. Reverend, state your name and address for the record. Please remember you have 3 minutes.
Richmond Boyd Jr., 416 Gerald T. Pelche Drive, Thibodaux, Louisiana, 70301. I just want to tell the council members that I'm in favor of this resolution. And I know y'all know I've been backwards and forward. A lot of people just came here just tonight, because they've been asked to come here. They've been asked to come here tonight. But I've been in here backwards and forward all year long, talking to you guys, trying to iron out this situation with Mr. Cantrell, who say that it's political. It's not political. In my book, it's not political. It's controlling. It's controlling. Ms. Cantrell want to control everything. So in the best interest of this parish, so that the constituents, light bills and all this other stuff, the parish wouldn't lose out on anything. The bill's going to be paid. Mr. Mantra, that lady, she's going to pay.
Continue, Mr.
Okay.
Boyd.
We're not going to lose out on anything. These people are doing what they're supposed to do. I've checked into that weatherization program. The weatherization was lost for many other reasons, but the parish is still being serviced. The parish is being serviced. And the thing I'm asking you, I'm asking the council. I'm asking the council. I'm begging the council. So we won't lose out on our federal funding and federal funds. I'm asking you, I'm begging you guys to just let St. Mary do what they got to do so we won't lose out on paying people light bills and all these other constituents that we have. Because when the board, the advisory board is there, we don't have no control. We don't have no say-so. He closed the offices down. He closed the offices down with no respect to nobody, not even y'all. Y'all didn't know it was closed. Jimmy just want to do what Jimmy want to do. And Jimmy get on the phone and have his workers call all these people here that's right now. I know all of them. He called these people.
Okay.
He
let me
called these
just-
people.
Excuse me a minute, Mr. Boyd. We have to keep the meeting and keep order. If you want to speak, there's blue papers in the back. I need you to fill them out, but we have to keep order in the meeting. So if anyone screams out, I'm happy to hear you. We want to hear from you, but fill out a paper and we have to just keep order, okay? Continue, Mr. Boyd.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is, so the people of the parish wouldn't lose out on the funding. They're not, the office is we will have office in all parts of the parish. It's gonna be like, all it would be doing is, the lady would be doing is overseeing. It'll be overseen. And I think it's better that way, and because if we go the other way, it'll be, look where we are. Look where we are. He's pretending like he want this. He don't want this. He don't want this board. He don't want community action. That's why he tried to get rid of it.
Okay, Mr.
Wait, I got a
Mr.
question.
Boyd, hang on a second. Wait a minute, Mr. Lorraine. Mr. Grow, he's been ahead of me.
I have a couple questions, but the first one, in regards to weatherization, I want to get that out the way first, okay? Weatherization, does a pool of money go to St. Mary, and some's for St. Mary, and some's for Lafourche, and Lafourche money can only be spent in Lafourche?
Right.
Okay, so what's the holdup? And you probably can't answer that. Why would it take 6 years to get a project done? That's a question of mine. But
If I remember right, I think that's the lady that lived in one of Mr. Cottrell's apartments. When she came right here and said that about 6 years and all that stuff, I guess that, and then Mr. Spears used to work for that weatherization also. Like they're going way back and try to come up with some
I think
stuff.
someone's here for the
and I don't need,
weatherization.
I'd like to have that answer from somebody with weatherization.
I think this person.
And it's two separate things, that's why I want to get that out the way and start talking about this.
Ms. Amitri.
Okay.
Please,
My name is Elmitra Franklin, Post Office Box 271 Franklin. I have with me Jeffrey Beverly, who oversees the weatherization program. I just want to clarify the fact, first of all, we did not take the weatherization program. The weatherization program was taken from Lafourche by the state of Louisiana for mismanagement and fraud of the program. It's on the record.
No,
Secondly.
about the money, I want to know how the money
okay,
comes back to us.
Secondly, with the weatherization program, we operate weatherization in 12 parishes. Each parish had their service allocation. There's so many units for those parishes. For the whole time that we've had that contract, we've done our parish numbers. We have never had a deficiency. We have never had a bad audit as it relates to weatherization, not only in this parish, but in any of the parishes that we operate.
That's fine.
I wasn't prepared for this, but anyway.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Jeffrey Beverly, 210 Bodan Drive, Franklin, Louisiana. And I just want to give you the numbers because I had somebody to pull it out of the system, for the state system. In 2014, we were scheduled to do 11 units here in Lafourche. We did 12. In 2015, we were scheduled to do 12. We did 12. In 2016, we were scheduled to do 10. We did 10. In 2017, we were scheduled to do 11. We did 11. And the state of Louisiana don't allow you to use Lafourche monies for any other parish.
Thank you.
We have to use those monies for those units in the parish. What our problem has been, though, we have had a high number of deferrals. When I say deferrals, we only allowed to spend $7,000, right at $7,000, what we call the average cost per unit on each unit. If that unit is going to cost more than that $7,000, then we have to do what's called the deferred unit. You can use monies from any other program to try to get that house rehabbed up enough to do those units, but at that time, we can't use it on the weatherization monies. That's our only problem. I don't know where the 6 units came from of not getting done, but since we've took over the program, which we took it over in February of that first year, just to make sure that those units get done, we did do those units by June the 30th of that same year. We've always operated the program up to par, and that's the basis of the...
Okay, thank you.
And that is a matter of records in the state of Louisiana and with the Federal Department of Energy.
Okay, y'all don't leave, Mr. Lorraine?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry,
gonna
wait a
put-
second, Mr. Daniel, I
Oh,
thought he
I'm
was
sorry.
done.
I'm
You have a
sorry.
question about weatherization? Because
I'm gonna put that baby to rest as soon as I talk.
You why don't you talk about weatherization, and then I'd like to go back to the other.
Sorry, Michael.
Weatherization, years ago, allegedly, there were some improprieties. We even had a contractor working in this parish that wasn't even licensed. The state took it away from you. She inherited it. We didn't give it to her. We lost it because of the stupidity in the previous administration, and that's what happened. So that baby's resting. And I said allegedly, but I guarantee you it's closer to being true than
What year
maybe.
was that?
Quite a few years ago,
Yes.
in the Randolph administration. I remember.
As far as 2014 and got the data on.
I remember they were getting work and they wasn't even licensed, unlicensed. And it caught up with them. And that's what happened.
Okay.
Now I got another question for Boyd. Reverend Boyd, you the chairman of the advisory board? Did y'all vote?
Mr. Boyd, will
That's
you
right.
go to the mic to speak, please?
Did y'all vote?
Somebody's raising a paper, just bring it up, please.
Did y'all vote as an advisory board to be open on Fridays?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now, once all this happened, one of them lost a job. Now you're not even open on Fridays.
Okay, we're not open on Friday because when Jimmy, like I told you, controlling, Jimmy, the lady that's the interim executive director, she's there illegally if y'all look at the paperwork. Because the resolution was not sent to y'all, and, you know, the board didn't vote up on it, and we didn't send y'all a resolution to hire her, so how could that be an interim executive director, according to the law? It can't be. She's actually, she's put there by Jimmy, controlling.
But the board voted for them to work on Fridays till 1 o'clock.
Right,
What I like about Miss Franklin, they work till 3 o'clock on Fridays.
yeah.
I love that.
But I was told that Jimmy told them they didn't have to work on a Friday.
Yeah,
no
there's a
more.
lot of things he says.
Because why do the board have to exist? And he's controlling. Look at him over there. Look how he's smurfing. He's controlling Smurf.
Okay.
Mr. Boyd,
Hang on,
I
Mr.
say
Cantrell,
something?
you do not have the floor. Mr. Lorraine, please continue.
No, I'm just about done, but advisory board hadn't met. Usually the way it works, as far as I know, I'm familiar with community action, not as much as Jones, but I'm familiar with it. Usually whatever happens goes to the advisory board, and from the advisory board, it comes to this council.
Right. Right.
But that hadn't happened. A regular board meeting without any controversy. Everybody's lovely, everybody loves each other. It's hard to get a quorum. Am I right?
Right.
And now when you got a controversy,
Look at everybody.
you're never going to get a quorum.
You know.
They all here, they go meet in the corners.
So
Okay.
that's all I got to say.
Mr. Grohl, go ahead and
Okay,
finish.
so my question for you, Reverend Board, is, you know, and I have my ear to the ground with this. I've been following it. You know, I missed one of the last meetings you were at, and talking with people. And I do read the paper. And you're talking about him being controlling. You can control that board. Or calling a meeting, right? Can you not call a meeting?
You have to call a meeting.
Okay, so you made it that you would respect the opinion of the Attorney General, and wait, I'm gonna call a meeting. No, is he gonna call a meeting? That's kind of the theme through the daily comment, okay? No meeting's been called yet, wait, no meeting's been called yet. So that's a control, it looks like a big standoff to me, as a public servant, Joe Public, whatever you wanna call it. I can read the paper and decide, and listen to both sides. I think this is good on principle, okay? The way the agenda came out, I started questioning the DA, saying, please look at this, because it looks like we are awarding a contract. We can't do that. And now, now everything's verbiaged and worded correctly to where we're just asking people to look into this. But I'm wondering who dreamed it, who came up with this great idea of getting St. Mary involved, because you should go with your board, or I don't know how this just came and ended up in an agenda. And why wasn't a meeting called? A lot will be solved by a meeting. That's what boards are for.
Mr. Grow, meetings are called to solve situations and problems and, go on, to progress. How could I call a meeting and Jimmy's doing what Jimmy want to do? It don't make.
How can you call a meeting? We got a meeting
Order
all.
in the chambers, please.
We have meetings come around every 2 weeks. It don't matter what Jimmy does, we have meetings. We have other meetings, boards meet all over the parish. It don't matter what's going on in these chambers or what's going on in Matthews or what's going on downtown Thibodaux. They meet. This is a reason to meet. Now, I don't want to vote in favor of this solely because I'm getting calls from state reps that are saying, hey, dude, what's going on over there in Lafourche? I got a call from Energy saying we're going to lose some money. I don't know. I read in the paper today that Reverend Boyd said, wait till the agenda comes out. I'm like, how does he even know what's coming out on the agenda? I don't know yet. Surely you didn't give the agenda item to Miss Carlene. I guess, you talk to Jerry because Jerry's and I applaud you for trying to get the monkey off your back because you were going to take the heat for it. For Jimmy, or if it goes the other way. You know what I'm saying? Am I not lying? Am I lying?
By doing dumb things, yeah.
So I feel like your back's up against the wall to do this, but you can't call a meeting like he can.
No, can't call a meeting, no.
But he can. And why didn't he call a meeting amazes me.
Okay, Mr. Boyd, do you have a question, an answer for that?
Yeah.
Do you have an answer for why didn't you call the meeting? Is that?
The reason I didn't call a meeting, I should have called a meeting and just even though Jimmy did what he did, I should have called one and just directly went against everything that he done. I could have called a meeting, But the thing about it, we got an executive director that's not there legally. We got another person that got hired that's not there legally. What am I supposed to do? My back is up against the wall. What am I supposed to do?
Mr. Jones?
Call a meeting.
Yeah, Red. Yeah, even for you to call a meeting, he said he didn't need the board, he didn't need the council approval. So, we got past that. When we go to these trainings, you learn about these different things. One thing is in North Louisiana, LaSalle Parish, Tensas, Calhoun, they are doing the same thing that we're trying to do here tonight. And Ms. Franklin is accountable, she's credibility, she's a legend, she's a dictionary of community action. So Lafourche Parish need to improve community action. I've been fighting with this for years, not just yesterday. And each administration come in with something different. And this way, it's going to be out of the council hands, no politics, out of the administration hands, no politics. It's going to be run right, and the people in the parish going to be deserving for what they need to get. The funds will not be lost. The funds are in jeopardy right now, in case we don't know. But by Ms. Franklin or St. Mary Parish coming in here and enhancing this program, we are sure that this thing going to be run right.
Mr. Jones, are you done? Mr. Cantrell?
Mr. Boyd, I called you, I sent you letters. You were supposed to meet with me at 2 o'clock one day. I waited, because I was going to tell you what we're trying to do is get a temporary director there. 3 o'clock came, you didn't show up. 4 o'clock came, you didn't show up. 4:30, I called you on the phone. You answered the phone, I said, where are you? You said, well, I got to go get somebody out of jail. I thought to myself, Mr. Boyd, you're going to go get somebody out of jail, but you're not going to help the poor people and the senior citizens that need your help to call a meeting, so we're going to lose funds. That's pathetic. In other words, if you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, sir, don't blame me, because I've tried to work with you. I've sent you, and I've got proof. I've sent many letters I've sent you, and I have proof of that too. So we can work together, and we can solve this problem. but it looks like nobody wants to work together. So I'm willing to work together with you. I'm willing to do anything to get this program back where it should be to help the senior citizens and the people whose lights may be turned off. And I've been trying to get you to meet this over here. I've been calling you. And I like to know, I sent you about 5 letters. I think Miss Stacy, we have the most qualified person right now who's gonna straighten up this program, who's gonna do a great job, and she's here right now, and she runs the program, not me. I just listen to what she says, and she gives what to have to help her out. But don't say that she can't do the job, because she's perfectly capable of doing the job.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Boyd.
Mr. Jimmy, who give you the power to, why didn't it go to the advisory board?
I called you and you didn't want to meet with me. I called you to ask you to meet with me. And when you didn't act, I wasn't going to let all this money get lost. So I appointed her with my authority to appoint somebody. Now, she's just temporary interim, but you didn't want to meet. You didn't want to call. We lost $20,000 today because you didn't meet. We lost Miss Adams. We can't hire her, couldn't have no funds left to pay her because you didn't want to meet.
Jimmy, you closed the offices. You took control and you closed the offices. So now you want to put the blame on somebody. Jimmy, you fired the finance director, which was black. You fired the personnel director that was black, and you're trying to get rid of community action. You're trying to get rid of it.
All right. We need to stay on topic.
Okay,
Mr. Jimmy, hang on a minute. We need to stay on topic, and we need to,
You're trying to
calmly
get rid
address
of
this.
He acting like he superior now because of the situation we in. But in the beginning, all he want to do is just be in power. He want to, whatever the advisory board do, he's countering it.
That's not true, Mr. Bowen. And you know it's not. And you know it's not because let me tell you something. I tried to work with you. I called you. I sent you letters.
Okay.
And but let me ask you another question since we're on this over here. How did this all come about? I wasn't informed of anything, and don't you think I should have been informed either? So you did just the opposite of what you said. You're accusing me of doing something that you're doing. Just doing the same thing.
Hey, Miss Cheryl lady, and the board, the reason we came up with that plan, this resolution right here, is to save the money, the federal funding, and give the people the service that they need. Because all this bickering backwards and forward, the bickering backwards and forward, I've checked, this lady have done this in other parishes, and it's working just fine. It's not going to be a headache for this advisory board, neither the councils. It's not going to be a headache. This lady will just take over this program, and she's going to do what needs to be done. She's been doing it for years, and she know how to do it. I even spoke to the lady from Workforce. She don't have a problem, a problem with us doing what we're doing tonight if y'all approve it.
Okay, I need to have some order. We have 7 people that need to speak. I see 4 lights, if Mr. Jimmy's is still on the council. Whenever you speak, please don't repeat the same thing if you can refrain from doing that. So whenever Ms. Carlene calls you, council, I'm asking the same thing. Please don't belabor the point and repeat what others say. Same with you, Mr. Boyd. Who is up next? Is that? Oh, you're not done, Michael?
My only other thing was, I agree with this on principle if we're about to lose federal money. But instead of playing a blame game and kicking it back and forth, we're in jeopardy of losing the money because you're not meeting, in my opinion. But with that being said, I'm not opposed to voting yes on this and putting the blame, kicking it to Mr. Cantrell to go and make the decision, or whoever is going to have to sign off on this. I can't sign off on it, but I'm going to vote because I don't think you're going to meet. Can you answer that yes or no if you're going to call a meeting? I mean, you can only call it. you don't have to, you can't guarantee quorum or people will show, but you haven't even called a meeting yet. And because it seems like you're pretty firm on that, I think we have no choice but to, me personally, to vote so that the money can come down from the federal government to funnel any kind of way to Lafourche Parish, even if it's making a pit stop in St. Mary, based on the situation I have right now with a board not meeting.
But the board meeting's not gonna solve this situation, Mr. Groh.
You don't know that, you never called one.
Mr. Groh, the board not meeting is gonna solve this situation. It's not gonna solve the situation. You know, because of all this stuff that's been going on, Mr. Groh, you know, I've been coming here Tuesdays after Tuesdays, you know, letting y'all know, informing y'all of what's going on with the community action, you know, with the situation, how Jimmy's doing. Now Jimmy's want to sit back and he be the goody two-shoe. The problem is administration. It's not y'all legislative body, it's the administration. That's the problem. The administration wanna overrule the advisory board. You know, even though it came, that opinion, the opinion that you said that came down from the Attorney General.
That you said you would adhere to.
Yeah, I would adhere to it. But that opinion, you know what that opinion said? You read it good?
I read it real good, and I don't think you following it.
Okay, the opinion said that he had a right to fire Freddie. Okay?
Talking to Mike.
That's all opinion said. So what's that gonna solve? The opinion said he had a right to do that. Now, you tell me what that's gonna solve. Mr. Groh, you explain to me, with me meeting, what that's gonna solve.
There's a lot of things y'all need to meet about.
I know, no. Answer my question, Mr. Groh.
What's it gonna solve?
Yeah.
Like, the problem was he couldn't get involved in Fire Freddy. They got an opinion on that and said he could. Boom, move on to the next issue.
But that wasn't the only issue, Mr. Groh. Where you been?
That's what the opinion was about.
Where have you been?
What was the opinion about?
That's what I'm asking you. What was it about?
The opinion was on if he can come in and shut the thing down and put her out of a job, and he did.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying, Mr. Groh. You've been misinformed.
All right.
Because the last time I was here, you wasn't even here.
And I watch on TV and I watch it online. And I heard you say you would adhere to it, and you adhere to it. You don't think I talked to people about this? I was digging when the agenda came out Thursday. I couldn't wait for the agenda to come out because I saw in the paper that we had this fix, which I'm okay with if it's a fix.
It's a fix.
If we're going to keep the money, I'm okay with it.
For the public. It's a good fix.
I get that, but and I wonder how it came about without a board meeting and things like that. I can commend a lot of people for it.
We're going to need to move on. Mr. Paraloo.
I just want to know, I know Mr. Cantrell saying he's got that olive branch out right now. He wants to work with you. Did he come to a meeting of the board or anything when he decided that there needed to be an investigation of the program?
Mr. Paraloo, that's the problem. He never came to us for nothing. He never contacted me about nothing. He just, all I got a phone call and say, a lady needed her light bill paid, all your offices are closed.
So, Mr. Cantrell, why all of a sudden you willing to meet, but before when you went in there firing people, you didn't want to meet with the board?
Now, see, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
Mr. Cantrell.
We did first of all, there was an audit being done. And the audit left a lot of things that we believe, and in fact, we know a lot of fraud was taking place.
Okay, Mr. Cantrell,
And so I'm not going to go any further, but I'm saying we believe, and if you notify everybody, you can't have a good investigation. That's all I got to tell you.
But my question stems from if you thought there were problems, why didn't you go to the board and work with them to address them? I think that's total logical next step if you think there's some wrongdoing going on. If you respect the board.
I respect every member on that board, but there's a difference between trying to hide something and not get something done. So saying this over here, in other words, it was very important that we do it at an auditor's phase, and then after we found out, then the thing was really, I just don't want to comment too much on it, really.
Mr. Lorraine,
Yes, I see Mr. Chiquette in the audience. He serves on that board, and he's elected to serve on that board by the people. You want to elaborate some on this?
she's got a blue paper,
She's on the
Mr.
board too.
No, I'm relinquishing him my time if he wants to. I think he can shed some light.
Please,
Sure.
please.
He makes just about every meeting. He knows what's going on, and he represents the poor throughout the parish. Okay.
Yeah. If you filled out a blue sheet, you're going to be called by name, so we're not going to forget you.
Paul Chiquette, 223 Twin Oaks, Raceland. I am an elected official by the community for serving the poor and working for the poor. I am not taking advantage of nobody, and I'm going to say the facts what they are. The only boss for community action is this council. That's the law. That's the state law. That's the federal law. The parish council. The board is elected to advise the parish council, not to listen to the administration. We are elected to advise the parish council. We were not informed of any information about what's going to happen by the administration. It was done by the administration, and he has his rights to do that. But no way in the Attorney General's opinion did he say the administration has the right to recommend or to put an executive director in a position without board's knowledge. And it wasn't done. Nobody says, and I face this issue every day with the community throughout the parish. I'm talking about the South, the Central, and the North. People of the poor call me, who represents them, to say, office is not open at right time, Thibodeau. Office is not open at all the times in South Lafourche. Office they can't get to in Central. The board has a lot of problems since the past administration. Not just Mr. Jimmy, past administration. We fought a lot of problems. The community wanted us to be open on Fridays. The board met and we voted to open on Fridays. Did anybody listen to what the board said? We brought it to the parish council. No, it was already directed. It was thrown out. So we don't open on Fridays. So on and on, the things that's happening is that they're eliminating the board. And you're right, Mr. Grove. The board should have met. I'm not ready to meet and break the law for you, or anybody else. The law says parish council is the authority. All I do is recommend. Period. I will not meet and break the law for nobody. The opinion was Mr. Jimmy had the right to fire her. He does. His salary was paid for her. But what else was included in that opinion that people don't want to interpret? I've been on this board a long time, and I'm an old man, and I have fought for children and old people through this community for a long time. I will not break the law for nobody.
How is it breaking the law by meeting?
By meeting, simple is that, first of all, he has no authority for the meet with an executive director that he appoints. The board meets and answers with the executive director what's going to be done and what's not going to be done. Did he give us a chance to recommend somebody? Did we go to the council? I want to know from the council. Did any of you vote on an executive director? No. Acting. Nobody voted on it. The only person who could have done that is this council.
So the reason why y'all not meeting is because of the appointment of the interim executive
But
director?
the appointment and expectations, they expect the board to go against this council. I'm not going against this council.
It's illegal. We don't have.
I'm not going against the council. Only authority in community action is this council. So they expect me to meet under administration, under other people they assign it, when the only authority is I don't have authority. I only have the power of recommendation. And I have recommendation, nothing to this council. The board didn't come make a recommendation to this council for nothing. Meet, how are we going to meet when people feel like I feel, and I'm not going to have a quorum to meet at a board when things are not solved? Who's going to solve it? There's commotions all the way around. We are losing funds, and the best put is to put it in the territory where we're going to keep the funds. We need to do what's right for the children of this community. We need to do what's right for the poor. We need to do right for the elderly. We need to do what's right. And the only thing that's right now, because of, it's too late to meet. It's too late to have agreements to everything. We need to do what's right and keep the funds.
Okay. Mr. Mr. Bowe.
Yes, it's called a learning experience too with what's happening, because not too long ago, we had some people tell us how we needed to consolidate recreation, and I'm not saying it was a bad motive. I just think that maybe things weren't carried out properly, things weren't done. In this case, it's a little confusing, because how far does the rabbit hole go? We're hearing two sides, and thank you for y'all experience and everybody here. Of course, my focus is on the people that need the benefits and why we have it in place to begin with. So a lot of times we're up here and we're looking for good information, solid information, and sometimes we don't always get it. So again, I appreciate y'all being here. Yes, sir. And you know, sometimes we get things and from different offices, it kind of just doesn't make sense. So I would like to look at this further, simply because, again, you know, I want to do what's best for the people, bottom line. What's best for the people who need these services, no matter who's in charge of it. However, I'm not looking to take anything or have the people in Lafourche lose anything. So.
Time sensitive right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, if we don't do it now.
Speak in the mic, please, if you could.
If we don't do this now, we're gonna lose. So we need to do something now so we wouldn't lose. You know.
Okay, so Mr. Board, you're saying
we still gonna have 3 offices in the parish. We still gonna have 3 offices in the parish. The money's gonna be coming down, and she's gonna be managing it. We're not gonna have all this, you know. Because like I say, if we call that meeting, we doing illegal stuff. He even went to the fact of hiring another person in that office without board approval, that we would refer it and do a resolution to y'all, let y'all vote up on it.
And paid with federal funds.
Paid with federal funds. He did that. He paid with federal funds. Jimmy going to jail by himself. I'm not going with him. And Bo, I respect you. I mean, Mr. Grow, I respect you. But Jimmy going to jail, and I'm not going with him, Mr. Grow, because I'm going to call the feds and let him know what he done tomorrow morning.
Okay, Mr. LaFont?
I just would like to, I'm trying to understand why the board can't meet and y'all gonna break, I'm not understanding why if y'all meet, it's gonna break the law. That's what I'm not understanding.
Okay, if we meet, we have to meet under the acting director, who is not appointed by this council.
The acting, you have to have a director at your meeting?
That tells us what the board, what are they doing? They advise us of all the things that's done, who's paid, who's not paid. The board looks at the whole functions of that department.
Right, okay, so then that makes sense. And my next question is this. Because I would have liked to seen y'all meet and come back with a recommendation on this. And I would ask y'all to meet. I'll support going to the state and asking what their suggestion is. I'd support that. But I would like to get the recommendation from the board. Once the state says we can do this, I'd like to get a recommendation from y'all. And look, it's only a recommendation. I don't have to believe it or not. It's only a recommendation, but I think y'all need to.
But I have to meet as a recommendation to the board on that subject. I will not meet on voting if we're going to agree what they have done so far.
Yeah, but then you don't have to. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to vote.
I'm willing to vote to give the recommendation to the council. I'm willing to meet for that.
Recommendation.
As long as we don't have to sign our name off on anything that was done since prior.
And Mr. LaFont, the funds, it's an emergency situation with these funds. We must act immediately. So, can I talk with the lady from the state? And she's in agreement with like what we're doing, but we must act immediately.
Right, and I understand.
Because if not, we're going to lose out.
I've been here six and a half years.
It's gonna be just like the weatherization. It's gonna be like the weatherization, you know, they're gonna take it from us. We don't want, we
Okay.
want
All
the
right,
parish still.
let me get my point. I'll let y'all speak. Let me say mine. I've been here 6.5 years on this council, and we've had trouble with this community action all 6.5 years. Whether it be under Mr. Jimmy's administration, whether it be a Charlotte, the only person I think we might not have some kind of thing with it, Jesus Christ would be here handling it.
You're right.
All right, so I just would like to see y'all continue y'all duties as a board. And it's just a recommendation, just like the libraries, it's just a recommendation. Everybody's just a recommendation. Y'all can recommend all you want. We don't have to listen to it. We can vote how we want, but a recommendation does make a difference. And it looks like y'all trying to do y'all role also. And I think that would help out and clarify a lot of this. But just not to, I'm like Mr. Grohl, just not to meet for no reason, I don't understand it. But I would like to have y'all meeting, because like he said, whether I get along with Mr. Jimmy today, tomorrow, last week, whether I got along with Charlotte Randolph, whoever, whether I got along with Jerry or them, guess what? My duty is still to be here and meet. And so that's what I'm asking y'all to do, is to meet.
Okay. I'm going to say this, Jimmy. It's been my friend for years. He will always be my friend. Regardless of who does wrong or right, or I do wrong or right, Mr. Cantrell will always be my friend. And he can't tell me I will not always be his friend. I'm not putting the blame on everything. I'm putting the blame on where it belongs. You can't expect us to meet as a board and agree to everything that was done when we had no control over it. Money was given, funds was passed, people were hired with federal funds. I'm never going to agree to that.
And
As a board, I will meet for your sake.
And what I'd ask you to do is meet. And if you don't agree with that, come back as a board of recommendation. Say, hey, we as a board believe that this took place and we don't want it to happen. Can y'all please help us out? And I think that would clarify a lot of things that the public would know, we would know, and then everybody would know. And then one statement to Mr. Grohl. And I believe what a lot of you said. But man, if you start believing what the Daily Comment writes every day, you in a bind, my friend.
Listen.
Hang on, Mike, Mr. Grohl. Mr. Jones.
Yeah, two questions. Mr. Cantrell, do you serve on the Community Action Board?
Mr. Cantrell?
Yes,
How many meetings have you made?
a couple of them, 3 of them.
And the board been meeting pretty regular and doing the job it's supposed to do, and you hadn't been there. Maybe you'd have made some of these meetings, you've been in light of a lot of things going on. Another question, you said you laid off someone out of community action.
Mr. Cantrell, did you lay someone off, and who? Or don't say who, just did you lay someone off?
No, the funds ran out and we had no choice.
The funds ran out. What fund was that?
Well, the heat funds.
The HEAP fund. As my understanding, there's no one getting paid out of the HEAP fund. It was 100% out of the general fund. And royalty fund 108, fundage, general fund OCA 142 to pay 2 salaries. And that was a CSBG coordinator, LAHEAP coordinator, and director. So why was she laid off?
Mr. Cantrell?
That's not true what Mr. Jones is saying. Ms. Stacy, you here? Would you come up and please?
And we don't have anyone from finance here to answer any questions about how people are being paid.
Ms. Stacy went through all this, I believe.
I know, but it would have been nice to have
Don't
someone
say
from
I have to
finance
stop.
here.
You have to stop too.
I'm not
Okay,
fighting with nobody. Stacy Savoy, 511 Dax Place, Thibodeau, Louisiana. What, Erica's salary was 100% LAHEAP. The other 2 girls is 100% CSBG. The LAHEAP funding was all dispersed about 3-4 weeks ago. So the way administration was doing it was the general fund would cover Erica's salary, and then the LAHEAP reports would go in and they would reimburse that line item. However, it's no more funding in that line item, and as of yesterday, the state has taken back from LaHeap, and they sent a letter explaining that the funds had to be, it was the second allocation for LaHeap had to be dispersed by September 30th. And because the Community Action Advisory Board failed to meet to send that allocation before this council to be voted on, the money was pulled. There was $5,000 in educational cost, and that was to educate the citizens on how to save on their energy bill, tell them about light bulbs that maybe would help, with the energy bill being lowered. The other 15,000 was for emergency services. So when people were coming in with disconnect notices, that funding was in place to cover those notices.
Mr. Grow?
Okay, I want to thank Mr. Chiquette for coming. I appreciate, and Reverend Boyd, I appreciate everything y'all saying. And nobody, at least I'm not, asking y'all to meet to break any laws or asking y'all to meet to agree with anything that's been going on. It's just to meet to give stuff to us, just to get some feedback. The two questions I have, okay, it was mentioned that all 3 locations will stay in the parish. Can we be assured that all those employees will stay? We'll be able to afford those employees. And then secondly, we get 2 board members. What's the makeup of, how are these 2 board members going to be made up? Okay.
Well, when I talked to somebody at the state level on yesterday, they explained that they really didn't make this agreement, that, Ms. Elmitra spoke to somebody at the state and asked questions about if the merge could happen, and if so, what would be the outcome of the merge happening. Well, they explained that Mr. Cantrell would have to be, of course, involved in the process of that merge happening, and in order for that merge to happen, Lafourche would have to lose the programs altogether, and then it's still not 100% guaranteed that the state would really award St. Mary Parish the program, because it's a process that the state go through and select from the list of agencies and see who is the closest in range and the reputation of the agency, so forth, so on. But I just feel like people being pulled in the middle of this blindsided, because we have an advisory board for a reason. Item number 25 clearly did not go through the advisory board. We have board members that's present in the audience that knew nothing about this item. My concern is not to be director of community action. I myself thought I was only stepping up to the plate to keep the program running until they decide what they wanted to do with it. There was corrective actions that needed to be taken care of, and the state gives a timeline for that to be done. There were contracts that needed to be completed within a timely manner, because the state, again, give guidelines and deadlines for when that is due to be turned in. As for the Friday work schedule, that's being blown all out of proportion. The offices are open on Fridays. It's been being open on Fridays from 8 to 1 for over the last year when Miss Freddie was here. Miss Freddie is not here to defend herself, and we're not here to badger her. The problem is that everyone needs to know their place in the agency and their involvement. Freddie couldn't run the agency 100% like she needed to, because she was being torn from the advisory board, giving orders and making demands, and not allowing her to accept some opinions, some suggestions, or just to do what she knew.
Okay, so no one's,
I
wait
appreciate you stepping up.
hang on a second. We can't speak for the other
Yeah.
employee that's no
Right.
longer
Yeah,
here.
no.
Can we just
Right.
And
stop
look,
doing that?
just-
Right. And
I appreciate the letter. Look, I looked at the letter, and it could have been written from anybody in the parish or anybody up here. I looked at it as not a supervisory letter. It would looked at it as like a plea for, please, can y'all do
Yeah.
something? We got to meet.
Yeah.
But my 2 questions are: can somebody guarantee that nobody will lose their jobs down here? And then also, who's going to be the 2 people on this board, or what's the makeup going to consist of?
I did talk to Joni Smith, because she called me and she asked me, we were talking about some other things with community action. But first of all, let me say this, if I might, before I get to your question. Lafourche Parish have not been spending this money for the last 2 years. 2016 money is still on the table. 2017 money is still on the table. 2018, and soon it will be 2019. That is offensive. They have too many poor people in Lafourche Parish that need assistance to have that money sitting like that. That money needs to be moving, it needs to be flowing to the
Should be
people that
down to
need
nothing
the
every
money.
year, in my opinion. Blow it out.
The money needs to be spent. The reason why we talked about community action is because community action agencies merge all around the nation. If they're contiguous, or if they can work together, or if they, I operate the community action services in Vermilion Parish. The Vermilion Parish Police Bureau asked me if I would come in and operate the Head Start program for them. I agreed to do so. They asked me to come back and operate the 5311 transportation. I did that. I do the LIHEAP program for them, I do weatherization, I do the tax program for them, and I can get a letter from the Vermilion Parish Police Bureau. They have never had a problem with the agency or the services that I provide. We are a community action agency, a multi-purpose community action agency, and the purpose of our agency is to serve. The motto of community action is people helping people. Not St. Mary, not Lafourche, but wherever that need is. Lafourche have a need to have services in this parish. And I just want to say that. When I talked to Mr. Jerry, he asked me, Ms. Franklin, would you let the program stay in Lafourche Parish? I say, well, the way we do in Vermilion, all of the staff in Vermilion Parish are residents of Vermilion Parish. The money for Vermilion Parish go to Vermilion Parish. I can't take the LIHEAP money that's allocated for Lafourche Parish and spend it in St. Mary Parish because it's allocated. There's an allocation there. There's an allocation for crisis. There's an allocation for regular services. I have people calling from Lafourche Parish asking me about getting their light bills paid. I said, well, I don't operate in Lafourche Parish. I just want to let you know we have a reputation for providing quality services. I've been doing this work now for probably before you was born.
I'm not insinuating that at all.
Okay,
I mean,
I
I'm-
just
Okay,
want
we-
to
I don't
get
think
it
anybody
straight.
else.
We have 7 more people that need to speak. Ms. Carlene's going to call up the next person.
Still ain't got my
Please,
questions
if
answered.
you
Did I
have
answer
some,
your question?
what's
They
that?
didn't answer my 2 questions yet. The state got talking.
You asked me if the
Who's the 2
input,
people gonna be on the board, or how that's gonna be made up? And will people lose their jobs, or do they have to interview again? I'm just trying to get clear.
I would advertise because I look for quality workers, for people who have a heart for people and people who are going to do the work. I don't want no problems, and I don't want people who are not going to do the best for the people that they are getting paid to serve. I will advertise and hire the best people. If we need to bring on, we have 2 slots that we can allocate for our board members, and I would hope that we would get somebody from the advisory board to serve on our board, and somebody from the council to serve on our board as well. So that's the way the
Ms.
makeup will be.
Carlene, could you, is that all your questions? Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Again, whoever's coming up, please, if you have something new, come up and
Ms.
talk
Chairman,
about it.
real quick. We
What,
discussed-
Mr. LaFont?
Point of order. We are discussing,
Are you're calling point of order
yeah,
because?
I'm calling point of order, no, because of the whole assembly.
Okay,
we
well,
are
we'd have to
discussing-
take a vote on point of order, so we're not.
No, there's no vote on point of order. I got it right here. We are
I have to let the
discussing
people
things.
talk.
I understand, but if you hear my point out, then you would understand where I'm coming from. We're discussing things that are not within this resolution. This resolution is about just going to state getting a recommendation. We keep discussing other matters. And I understand everybody wants to get a point, but I think the points would be probably more after we get the recommendation from the state and we go to vote on what we're gonna do with the program. This what we're voting on tonight is just to go to the state to get recommendations.
And I think it's,
But a lot of
That's
things
true.
are being said tonight that has nothing to do with this.
but people want to explain what's
And I
happened.
understand that, but
They
point of
wanna say
order
their-
is called.
Okay, they want to say their point of view, so
Reverend Nelson Taylor, if you'd approach the podium. Reverend, state your name and address for the record. Please remember you have 3 minutes.
Reverend Nelson Taylor. I am the pastor of Allen Chapel AME Church, African Methodist Episcopal Church in Thibodeau, which is the oldest black church in Lafourche Parish. Been here 153 years. This is the first time I've been here. And I'm almost saying I'm ashamed of, but there are reasons for that. I have my reasons. I know plenty of the people in here. I know Mr. Jerry Jones. He used to be a member of my church. I know Reverend Boyd, who is a school board member. My phone has been ringing off the hook today from people who are concerned about this agency. My connection goes back to one of your executive directors, Reverend Jerry James, preceded me as pastor of Allen Chapel. I've been there 13 years. Now, one of the things, I've been sitting back there, and I think Reverend Boyd said that he's been here. He has participated. He knows the problem, and I don't doubt that he does. Now, I haven't been here, and I've been sitting here listening. What is obvious to me, two things, that there are political agendas. From what my little notes, Reverend Boyd seems to go ballistic when he calls Mr. Cantrell's name. Amen. I don't know why, but he does. And there is a board, advisory board, that's dysfunctional. There are long-standing problems which apparently have not been addressed. And there are hidden agendas. I'm not saying some things before you because I have some thoughts about some things and some persons myself. You don't know what they are. But they are influencing what I'm saying. First of all, I'd like to ask you a question. Who is your legal counsel?
That's the district attorney.
The district attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Do they send people regularly to these meetings?
She's here right now. Yes, she is.
Oh, where is she?
She's in the back, right there, behind you. That's the ADA.
Okay, all right.
One of the ADAs.
And her name?
Lisa Ogeron.
Lisa Ogeron. I'm a trained civil rights lawyer, and there's some problems that I've heard, and I'd like to speak to her. And one of the things I like to say is that I've been in Lafourche Parish, and I've seen wonderfully competent people here. Why aren't competent people in charge? Why? I have nothing against the person from...
Is someone going to relinquish time? Mr. Melvin? Okay. You have 3 more minutes.
I have, competent people. I saw the lady come up here. She obviously is competent. She's obviously thinks that she knows how to solve this problem. Why don't we have competent people from Lafourche Parish?
Okay, I'm not sure that that's it relates to this that we're looking at right now.
It has to do with this resolution. You want to partner with somebody because apparently there are those who think that Lafourche Parish can't do it.
No, I think the administration and the board has gone so sideways that the board isn't meeting and they can't find a way back to one another. It isn't about competency. It's about those two entities don't want to talk and don't want to meet, and
I understand.
that's what. So it's not about one being competent or not.
That's a question of competence. And you got boards who can't function. You got people who can't talk to each other, and they need to talk to each other for this to happen.
Right.
For the program to get to where it needs to be. And I haven't heard any discussion about how do we get there. How do you get your advisory board, which is obviously an advisory board, together with whoever they need to get together with? I just hear name calling, that you did this and you don't have authority to do this. Somebody has authority to do something. Why? My recommendation, I'm going to go sit down, is for the parish council
to get some outside advisors. This is a serious problem. You got an advisory board, and poor people are the people who benefit from this program. And the people who work at the program, no matter how sweetly it's put, are in jeopardy of losing their jobs. When they hear, well, we're going to advertise, well, that means that they're in jeopardy. And so before all of this begins to happen, it's a resolution that the Lafourche Parish Council Governing Board has partnered, merged with the St. Mary Parish Community Action Agency, that there ought to be somebody or some group put into place by this board, this council, to see if we can't resolve the problem of apparent conflict between the administration and an advisory board that's affecting poor people.
So you're suggesting the council hire a mediator to try to get Mr. Cantrell to work out their differences
That might
with
work.
the advisory board?
Or whoever, you're in charge. As I understand it from listening, you're in charge.
We're not in charge of whether or not that board meets.
No.
We can suggest, we can't enter into a contract with anyone. I can suggest that Mr. Cantrell hire someone, but we can't enter into a contract.
The board is not meeting. That's a legal problem.
Okay, does someone else want to relinquish time?
I got a question, and that right there, they could take that down because it's been amended and that doesn't even matter anymore. Because that has nothing to do, what we actually are discussing is a resolution informing just what you said for us to do, requesting guidance.
Guidance.
And that was the amendment to it. So what you are suggesting we're doing is actually what we're gonna vote on tonight. We are going to the state and asking for guidance, requesting guidance from the state on the community action. So that's the only thing we voting on tonight, is requesting guidance from the state, just as you asked us to do.
I think if the state is going to give you guidance, fine. But I would.
Okay, is someone else relinquishing time? Mr. Parlin, okay.
I would suggest, and it may make some people angry with me, I would suggest that a board that has the responsibility that it has, no matter how mad you get, that does not function, does not meet, is violating its ethical responsibilities and duties, period. And I think that this board has some responsibility to ensure that the people that are to be served are protected. No matter how strongly you feel about it, this is a board that has a duty and responsibility. They're raising some problems. Somebody appointed somebody who they didn't have the authority to appoint. That does not relieve you of your responsibility to do what is on the agenda for you to do. That is not, you can't not meet. If everybody decided not to meet because they're mad at somebody, Mr. Cantrell or whatever, this world will never get anything done. And I would suggest that this board has a responsibility.
We can't force them to do anything.
I think you can. I think you have a duty to do so.
We've checked on, we've discussed with the DA extensively what we can and cannot do.
I discuss with the DAs all the time.
Okay. You
Praise
done,
the
Mr.
Lord.
LaFont? Okay, Ms. Carleen, next person.
Ms. Deanna LaFont, if you'd approach the podium, state your name and address for the record. Ms. Deanna, please remember you have 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Deanna LaFont, 502 Abbey Road. Most of y'all pretty much know I'm your local Entergy spokesperson. The LaHeat program is a cornerstone of our low-income services, and I know that there is a lot of discussion going on tonight about how to get these funds into the parish. I just wanted to come up and let y'all know that Entergy relies on these funds to help us pay for utility bills or to help, provide services for our low-income customers. We cannot use Entergy funds, we cannot use ratepayer dollars to pay utility bills for people. Our public affairs staff works very closely with the federal delegation to help secure these funds for the state and for our customers. So if we can't get these funds into the parish can't come to Entergy and ask us to help pay for utility bills for low-income folks. As employees, we can contribute to Power to Care. Our customers contribute to Power to Care. Our shareholders match that. And some of those funds are allocated out into the communities to help pay for utility bills. But LAHEAP is very important. It's a very important program, and I know that Joe knows that. About 25% of our customers are below the poverty level. So we rely heavily on these funds, and we rely heavily on the partnerships with these agencies to help put these dollars in the hands of the people that need it. So I know that there's a lot of moving pieces, but we just please hope that y'all can get what y'all need figured out so we can move forward.
Thank you, Deanna. Any questions for Deanna? Okay, Ms. Carlene, who's next?
Angela Martin. Angela. You don't want to speak? Stacy Savoy. Deanna Politz. Come to the podium, please, ma'am. State your name and address for the record, Ms. Politz, and please remember you have 3 minutes.
My name's Diana Politz. I live at 308 Lee Drive, Thibodaux, Louisiana. I am a citizen of Lafourche Parish. It brought me here tonight because I knew this resolution was going to come up. I'll make it short and sweet. My daddy always told me I was the mess stirrer in my house, in all his children. I have been involved with the community action of Lafourche Parish for many years as a client, as a volunteer, and I can honestly tell you, I've been in public. Flora Badeau was here. She could tell you how I've been involved in politics and in the public. And I cannot stand here and say that I have one problem I ever had with any of these girls that worked in Lafourche Parish Community Action. I mean, from the day Stephanie was working here till Stacy took it over. She was sort of like thrown into this job, and I just don't think it is right for her to stand here and have all of this going on when she just got the job. Nobody has even given her a job, the time to prove herself. Yes, this community action has had problems, and I mean, I read about it in the paper, like one of y'all had made a remark about it, and I know what's going on. I keep up with it. I keep up with the politics in Lafourche Parish. And I mean, really, it's a problem, and we all know it. But I don't think everything's going to be solved right away by sending it to St. Mary's Parish. Yes, I agree, those LAHEAP funds. I've had to use them. I've had to use the community action groceries. Yes, I am one of the people that needed it. Anytime we ever needed anything, I can go to one of these girls. They like my family, and I'm not here to defend them one way or the other. That is what's going to be missing. These girls bent over backwards to help every one of us that has ever gone for help. Never a ugly face, never a bad remark, sweet as can be. That is when you keep your hometown people in Lafourche Parish. Thank y'all.
Okay, so that's it. We have a first and a second on the amendment. Now we just need to vote on the amendment. Y'all ready to vote? All in favor? Any opposed? The amendment passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAM being absent and a vacancy. Now we need to vote on the item as amended.
Hey.
Oh, I need to get a motion on the item as amended. Moved by Jones, second.
A second. I just want the public to be aware that we're not voting to give this to St. Mary's right now. We're only going to the state for advice.
I think we've established that. Okay, who vote? Motion by Jones, second by Grove. Oh, second by Lafont. Okay, all in favor? I can't hear y'all. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1. with OTAN absent and a vacancy. Okay. Number 26. Okay. Resolution certifying to the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development that they have and will continue to comply with all FHWA DOTD requirements regarding performance of interim inspections, calculating the load carrying capacity and load posting deficient bridges under the jurisdiction of for 2018. Moved by Perilou for OTAN, second by Lafont. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. 27, resolution approving the 2018-2019 cooperative agreement between the Can we have order in the chambers, please? 27, resolution approving the 2018-2019 cooperative agreement between the Louisiana Department of Natural Resources and Lafourche Parish government to continue the coastal zone management program within the parish of Lafourche and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Lorraine, second by Lafont. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. Number 28. Resolution appointing one member on the Bayou Blue Fire Protection District of the Parish of Terrebonne and Lafourche Board. Corey, you moving for?
Yes, I'm moving for Mr. Otan to appoint Caleb Verdun.
Can I get a second on Caleb Verdun? Second by Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1. Number 29.
29 is being pulled.
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 Oh, let's go ahead and vote on the item being pulled. All in favor? I can't hear y'all. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1. Items pulled. With OTAN absent and a vacancy. Number 30. Resolution appointing one member on the Fire District Number 7 Board. Mr. Melvin.
I appoint Dr. Paul Goday.
Mr. Melvin moves on Paul Goday. Any second? Second Grow. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and one vacancy. 31, resolution reappointing one member to the Veterans Memorial District of Ward 10 Board. Mr. Lorraine, who are you moving on?
Yes, it's been recommended by American Legion Post 259 that we reappoint Dallas Marlboro. The only applicant.
Dallas Marlboro, second by Lafont. Any discussion? You have anything? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and vacancy. 32, resolution approving change order number 3 from Sea Level Construction, Inc. for the project titled Parla Rose Pump Station Improvements to increase the contract price by $848 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer and said change order and any and all relevant documents. Moved by OTAN. Oh, well, who's moving for OTAN? Perillou's moving for OTAN. Second by Lafont. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. 33, resolution approving change order number 1 for Byron E. Talbot Contractor, Inc. for the project titled Dugas Canal Drainage Infrastructure Improvements Project to increase the contract price by $14,724.50 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Melvin, second by Grow. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and vacancy. 34, resolution approving the parish president's appointment of Brent Abady for the position of parish administrator for Lafourche Parish Government and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Lorraine.
I would like to defer this, if I can, till October the 23rd, which would be 29 days from today. And I'm not too strong on interim forever. I made that clear. But the reason why I like to defer it is because I think we can give him a chance and let the council see what kind of job he's doing, which I think he's doing a good job. But giving him more time, then you can make a better decision.
Anybody else has something? Okay, Ms. Carleen, do we need to vote on deferring this? All right. Anyone wants to second deferring? Second by Paraloo. Mr. Lorraine, you had something more? Okay. All in favor to deferring it, say aye. Any opposed? Item is deferred till October 23rd, 7011, with OTAN absent and a vacancy. 35, resolution approving a transfer of appropriation 18-005, any amount of $62,598.53 from the Lake Long Drive Drainage Project P4003 to the Drainage District 12, Sub-District 2, Lake Drive Pump Station 05209 due to emergency repairs needed at the pump station, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Paraloo, second by Grow. Any discussion? Is there an amendment on that one? Ms.
No,
Carleen?
it's on 36, not 35.
All right.
36.
Okay.
Carolyn, who's the second?
Who is the second? Was it Grow? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. Number 36. Resolution accepting the low quote of the Low Lift Pump Company, Inc. in the amount of $36,170 for parts needed to repair the Lake Long Drive Pump Station, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Ms. Carleen?
Let me see what it is, since it's not ours. Okay, what the administration is wanting to do is throughout the resolution, change Lake Long Drive Pump Station to read Drainage District 12, Sub-District 2 / Lake Drive Pump Station.
Paraloo's moving on the amendment, second by Lorraine. Okay, let's vote on the amendment. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. Can I get a motion on the item as amended? Oh, you did already? What you doing, Bill? Oh. I forgot that.
Who's seconding? Mr. Melvin?
Melvin.
Was it Mr. Melvin seconding?
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. Y'all don't distract me. 36, resolution accepting the low quota, oh, wait a second. 37, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, Sheriff, and Lafourche Parish Government Parish to provide for and maintain security at the Lafourche Parish Council meetings, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Paraloo's moving for me, second by Grow. Finally, how many months has this been? Wow, it's just wonderful.
This is last year.
Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. 38, resolution approving an agreement between the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness and Lafourche Parish Government for the Emergency Management Performance Grant, EMPG, fiscal year 2018, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Who's moving for OTAN? Paraloo's moving for OTAN. Second by Jones. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7011 with OTAN absent and one vacancy. 39, resolution authorizing Lafourche Parish Government to designate South Central Planning and Development Commission as the point of contact to administer the grant titled Household Security Grant, fiscal year 2018, on behalf of the Lafourche Parish Government, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Paraloo for OTAN, second by Jones. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. 40, resolution approving the program offered by the State of Louisiana Department of Education in order to carry out the purpose of Section 17 of the National School Lunch Act as amended and the regulations governing the Child and Adult Care Food Program, CACFP, issued thereunder 7 CFR Part 226 and Section 3 of the Child Nutrition Act of 1966 as amended, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Lafont, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. J, parish president. Let the record show, parish president stepped out at 8:23. Parish president, department heads, directors, or managers report, presentation, and/or updates. Y'all have anything?
I had some questions for the clerk.
Okay, we're not there yet. Y'all good? All right. Okay, questions for the administration. Is Mr. Jimmy coming back, do you know, or is he?
He should be back. He just stepped out to the facilities.
I make a motion that we defer to the next item.
Okay. Can I get a motion to move to L? Moved by Lafont, second by Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-0-1-1 with OTAN absent and a vacancy. Mr. 41, Mr. Reggie Bagala, Legislative Internal Auditor, to present a report.
Good evening. I was asked to give an up-to-date accrual of overtime paid out by the executive branch. As of this past pay period, over $8,300 in overtime has been paid out. This is the executive branch only. Regarding the preliminary 2019 budget figures posted in Munis, there have been no significant changes in the numbers posted up to the parish president's level. Lastly, with the proposed budget due to be presented to council on September the 30th, I'd like to read an email that was in response to a question that I posed to the administration regarding the formulation of budget figures regarding employee salary projections and employee health insurance benefits for next year's budget. The email thread conversation was between myself and the public information officer. On August 22nd, I asked, I have a couple of requests dealing with the proposed 2019 Lafourche Parish Government operating budget. I'm requesting a copy of the 2019 Lafourche Parish Government salary projection spreadsheets. I'd also like the mathematical formula or manner which is used in calculating the amount of funds to be budgeted for health insurance for the 2019 operating budget year. Thank you. I received no response, so a week later I sent a request again. The PIO responded, per the custodian of records, the spreadsheets are in active use, therefore will be available once finalized. The budgeted formulas do not exist. 9 minutes later, I responded, maybe I should simplify my request. I would like to know how the administration comes up with budget numbers for employee benefits, or the method that is used in calculating the amount of funds to be budgeted for the health insurance and all other employee benefits for the 2019 Lafourche Parish Government operating budget year. 6 minutes later, the PIO responded, after confirming with department heads, again as stated below, per the custodian of records, the formulas do not exist. I simply asked for this administration's process in formulating the budget numbers for employee health benefits and benefits. Does not exist. I'm not even sure how to respond to this. I will, however, go back to my first report in May of last year regarding transparency. This was the quote, the mere fact that this administration says that they have a true and open transparent policy mindset is disingenuous at best, obstructing open access, even if just in an observatory fashion, to the legislative branch of meetings regarding the use of public funds, capital outlay projects, and budgetary matters should not be tolerated by this council or the citizens of Lafourche Parish. On June the 2nd, last year, an editorial in the Daily Comment regarding the answering of questions posed to this administration stated, quote, "Why? Shirley Cantrell possesses the linguistic and logical ability to hear a question and respond to the best of his knowledge or to direct the question to a member of his administration who might be more familiar with the subject matter. No, this does not come from a desire for clarity. It comes from a contempt for the council members and by extension for the people who elected them," end quote. Last year, this council did not touch the salaries or benefits of the employees. Protecting their interests and the interests of the citizens of this parish cannot be compromised. For this administration to answer the earlier question in this manner displays an arrogant contempt for the wishes of this council and the residents of Lafourche Parish who have a right to know. That's it.
Does anyone have any questions on that? So, in a nutshell, I think, Mr. Bagala, I know it's late, we're tired, it's that simple sentence is you asked for how employee benefits and insurance was calculated, right?
Yes,
And it told you there's no formula?
there's no formula.
Okay. And Mr. Jimmy's not here to say anything to that?
I just wanted y'all to know, because you got a budget coming up next week. That's going to
Okay.
be presented to y'all.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, I'd like to ask the administration, can I get an itemized salary for the budget for 2019? Executive side.
Itemized, explain to me by
Itemized.
what you mean by itemized, so I can make sure you
Itemized
get responsive information.
Individual salaries.
You want the individual salaries of each
Executive
employee in
department.
the executive branch.
Right.
Oh, wait, I had another question for you. When you said there's $8,000 in overtime pay, do you have the breakdown of who, what? Just curious, I mean,
There's basically 2 employees. I can give the breakdown to you. I mean, I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me, but I can make it part of the record.
I was just, yeah, make it part of the record whenever you get it, but just curious. Mr. Melvin?
Yes, Mr. Bowens, I just want to ask you a quick
Oh.
question about LaFourche.
Okay,
I'm
hang on
sorry.
a second, I didn't
Okay,
see his
sorry.
light on.
Okay, let me just at least try to provide some information with regard to this report. As y'all know, I just took over this position as interim parish administrator, and so I've just suddenly been included in a lot of this process. I can tell you that I, in fact, participated in some recent meetings that discussed these salary issues, and in particular, the insurance issues, because as you know, I reported to you in the last meeting that it was our expectation that the insurance would be exactly what we had last year. There is no particular formula with regard to how you calculate these numbers, other than when you get feedback from the agents that are making your proposals, and then you can adjust your numbers. So there's no formula sitting around that really is responsive to that question. The same thing goes with
So you're
salaries.
waiting on numbers from the agent, and that's what you're gonna budget? Is that what you're saying?
We're working on getting numbers from the agent so that we can make sure our budget is gonna be adequate for it. That's correct.
So whatever number the agent hands you, that's what you budget?
Well, no, we work with the agent to try to get the numbers into a place where we can afford it.
I know, but whatever that number is decided, the agent has provided that, and that's what you budget.
Right, they gave us feedback, as I explained in the last meeting, as to what they thought the expected increase would be in the premiums. We're working on that as we prepare the budget. Now, if they come back with numbers that are higher or lower, then we can make adjustments on that basis. But nobody sits around and says, okay, this is what we paid this year, and we automatically add 5, 10, 15% or whatever it is to it every year. That formula like that does not exist.
Okay. Mr. Melvin?
Yes, Mr. Bowens, I just had a quick question, and thank y'all for all the help y'all been giving me in my district. Lafourche bypass pump, I had a question over the years of people from that area emailing me about the pump not running or having issues, and sure enough, there was an issue recently where they sent me some pictures, and does that pump have 2 apparati where, you know, it's a small fuel pump, but then it works on electricity as well, or?
Yes, it's a natural gas pump and electric pump.
Okay, because I don't know if the natural gas point was down, but the lady who texted me lives down the street from it said that, I mean, she sent pictures and a lot of water all over the place and said that she thought maybe it was definitely down, but if it wouldn't been for the electrical portion of it, you know, it wasn't completely down, but they'd have flooded. So do you know if that has been fixed or looked at?
Oh, yes, I thought I sent you an email to that effect.
Okay.
Of what was going on with that pump. It's running as of right now. We are getting prices on a new engine as we sitting here to ensure that we can keep moving along.
Is it an upgrade? Is it gas, diesel?
It's natural gas.
Is it gonna pump the same capacity, maybe
Yeah,
more?
no, it's gonna be the same size engine. It's gonna be the same horsepower, maybe a little bit updated on the engine compared to when that one was bought. But, we worked on it. Our mechanics have been working on it continuously.
And you
Trying-
say it came in or it's been installed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Let the record show Councilman LaFont walked out at 8:32 and returned at 8:33. Fast. Okay. I don't know that Mr. Jimmy's coming back. Mr. Abady, can I get a motion to return to regular agenda?
I have a question for,
Okay, hang on, let's return to regular agenda so we can go for questions for the administration. Can I get a motion? Okay, can we get a motion to return to regular agenda? Moved by Bo, second by Jones. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 6-1-1-1, with LaFont stating no, OTAN absent, and a vacancy. Okay. Okay, questions for the administration? Go ahead, Michael.
I have a question for Mr. Barnes. I had emailed, well, several times, but recently I had on Oak Lane, which is right outside the west side drainage project, there was some issues with flooding on Oak Lane and St. Bernard. In talking with one of the employees, they had mentioned that we tried to go out and clean a ditch, and the residents stopped us, you know, and that we were going to try to revisit that. I mean, I know I'm bombarding. Get back, if you don't have an answer, get back with me on that tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure we mentioned that. We were hoping that the west side drainage deal would help, and it doesn't seem like it is, that last rain last weekend. And I know, according to, you know, one of the emails I got back was we went and we got stopped by a resident. They didn't want us blowing out the ditch or digging his ditch. So let me know what we need to do if we have that problem again. We want to try to force them to, move this water. Okay?
I'll research that for you.
Any additional questions for the administration that remains? M, 42, discussion concerning all the parish employees at all the field office. It's moved by Lorraine, second by.
Yes.
Before you say any, oh, I'm sorry, moved by,
Yeah,
no second needed.
I'm not gonna name any employees. All I'd like to have is, the numbers of the employees that were working at Region A, B, C, D, and the outskirts from 2016 till now. We got quite a few people that have left when they went to 35 hours. And finally went back to 40. But we are short people. I don't know about y'all, but we hardly have anybody. We always get the less of the crop on the south end. And something needs to be done. I got a pumper that quit. Was never replaced yet. I got people complaining they're flooding. I didn't even know the pumper quit. But that's another story. But anyway, I want the numbers. I want to know exactly how many we have in 2016, and I want to see it because we went back to the 40 hours. We cut on insurance. We did everything we can do. And don't tell me we ain't got no money, because whoever's going to say we ain't got no money, I want you to come serve with me when I was here in 1984, 85, and 86. And then I can tell you there was no money. You got money, but you got to know how to use the money. Gotta be conservative, and you gotta use it for what's best. Right? You agreeing with me? Right. But you wanna say no money? Come when I was here 35 years ago. Then you could say there's no money. All the streets are basically fixed. We're doing repair work. You got your millage coming in. I went to a library board meeting last night. The millage is coming in $1 million more this year than last year. So that means the economy is starting to change. So I don't want to hear there's no money. That's all you hear around here. There's no money. No money. But there's money for certain things. But I can tell you, in 1985, when you had $10,000 a month for all the shell roads in the parish, then there was no money. But that's all I hear. No money, no money. So, come on. I'm not telling you we got plenty of money, but you do have some money, and we should be able to get some projects done. Quit leaning on the previous administration. Golly, come on. All I want is the numbers.
Mr. Abity.
I spoke with Mr. Lorraine yesterday. We're in complete agreement. I have no problem at all getting those numbers for him. I don't, everybody here knows, it's a fact. You can't dispute the fact that we have less people now than we did probably in 2016. I don't know what the exact payroll was, but, and look, you guys are gonna get the budget in a couple of days. You'll know exactly how much money there is. Well, not that there's none, it's, you know, we just gotta figure out how we pay our bills, that's all.
I'm just gonna say one thing, and that's my personal feelings on the budget. There are 260 amendments last time. They'll probably have 1,000 this time.
Yep, for sure. LaFont.
Just to clarify, if you can, I'd like to see the numbers of when Mr. Cantrell, the first day he took office, and this year when y'all had the today or whatever he questioned, but I'd like to see the first day.
Number of employees you're talking about?
Number of employees in Public Works,
Oh, just in Public Works?
just in Public Works. I think they took the hardest hit.
Okay, anyone else with questions for the administration? The only thing I would like to see is discussion for the administration. The only thing I would like to say regarding employees is I'd like to know the executive branch, 16, 17, 18, the dollar amount spent in the executive branch for those. And we could just do it to 18 to this point. Executive branch salaries.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll see what I don't know what the 2019 is gonna be. I'm sure that
No,
those
that's-
numbers are in the budgets that were approved, but we'll see if we can fish out that number and give you what
Yeah.
you wanna see.
Thank you. All right. 43, discussion regarding the walking track at the Lady of the Sea Hospital. Mr. Lorraine?
Yes, money's been in the budget about 2 years. Been talking about this about a year. And come to find out, they said we have a lease agreement that expired. Well, how can you have a lease agreement that expired when the parish owns the hospital? Parish owns Thibodeau Regional, and the parish owns, not me, the parish owns Lady of the Sea. But we need a lease agreement with the parish? It's been tied up for 8 months. I go to their meetings, and all we want, I think Mr. Barnes had a good solution, because I talked to him about it, is we have $20,000 or $25,000 budget for that. And he said something about getting a little excavator and just taking the bad panels out and just replacing them. We done walked it, we toured it, all of a sudden we find out that we need a lease agreement. Well, I'm not a lawyer, but a lease agreement when you own it? Come on, I never heard of that before in my life. You might need a cooperative endeavor or something with the board maybe, which I don't think you really need that, because that was built by the parish. I've been seeing it for years and years and years, and finally it came out that it was built by Recreation District 3. So the money's budgeted. I just hope that they get something done soon. Just doesn't make sense that you're gonna get a lease agreement when you own it.
Stabity?
That was a new issue that I discovered when I moved upstairs to the third floor, and I'm the one that pointed out to the relevant people that if we own that property, we can't lease it back from ourselves. And so I've got people working on a cooperative endeavor agreement, because if the property is under the care, custody, and control of the hospital board, we do need an agreement to that extent, but this should be resolved very quickly.
Yes, the reason why I put it on there, Mr. Abbott, is because we brought it up 2 weeks ago, and then in a 2-3 week period, you still don't have nothing. So it seems like I might have to go back to some of my old ways.
Uh-oh.
Well, that was the period in which we confirmed who was the owner of the property.
Lafont?
This question was for Mr. Jimmy, but maybe I'll give it to you now and he can bring it for the next meeting. When I walked in the council chambers earlier, when I first arrived, he said, I need to talk to you, so I went up to him and he said, listen, I want to tell you, I was planning on fixing the drainage behind West 55th and 50th Street, but that's not what he said. He said, I was planning on fixing this behind Cutoff Elementary, which is West 56th and 55th Street. He said, but Mr. Lorraine took you $50,000. Which I don't believe you took the $50,000, because I don't think you got that in your bank account right now? But anyway.
He's nice, but not that nice.
I want an explanation on how he's saying that Mr. Daniel took the $50,000. Because I don't believe Daniel took it. I think it was to pit me and Daniel. We finally talking again. I think it was to pit me against Daniel for some reason. I'm not sure what it was, but that's been a drainage issue forever. And I don't know why he would even come tell me that Daniel took the $50,000.
The only thing I can say to respond to that is that he said he was gonna fix the drainage problem that's been there 30 years, but you know what? It's still not fixed because I took the 50,000. Wow. I didn't know I was that good. Thank you, Jerry. Put that in my checking account, man.
No, you don't want that. You're gonna go to jail.
All right, is any further discussion? Being none, get a motion to adjourn. Moved by Parallel, second by Grove. All in favor? Any opposed? Meeting adjourned 8:44 PM.